Question of the day. What is your favorite Sinnoh Pokemon? Hello everyone, welcome back to the Thoughts and Opinions series. A series that I kind of want to do more, not gonna lie. It's a series where I kind of hop into Animal Crossing, dress up as the thing I'm gonna talk about, and then go to my little rock spot and then talk to you guys about my thoughts and opinions on all these different things, such as Monster Hunter and Pokemon, which, okay, maybe not Pokemon, because I haven't done that quite yet. This one is Pokemon. Sorry, my train of thought this morning is very weird. It departed the station at a weird time. Also today, I'm dressed up as Dawn, and I would have dressed up as Lucas, but the thing is that there's only outfits for Dawn online, from what I could see, so go figure, I'm Dawn today, so hopefully that doesn't bother anyone. Yes, so today we're gonna be giving my thoughts and opinions on every Sinnoh Pokemon. This is all the Pokemon that are in the Sinnoh Dex exclusively. So, for example, there's not going to be Pokemon in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Pokedex that you like, you know, that you find in the game. Like, for example, you could find Machop, you know? But the thing is, Machop isn't a Sinnoh Pokemon, you know? You could find it in Sinnoh, but it's not a Sinnoh exclusive Pokemon. I mean, I guess it's not exclusive. You get what I mean. Introduced in Sinnoh. Hopefully people get that. So yeah, I believe there's only 151 Pokemon in Sinnoh? I think? I'm making that brash assumption, but we're just gonna jump right in and see for ourselves. The first one on our list is Turtwig, and I'm just gonna give a prerequisite to these starters here. I have a weird relationship with them. I actually didn't really like them that much back in the day, but I don't know if it's just over the years I've grown in appreciation or just comparing them to newer starters, I like them more. These starters definitely felt like a different step than the past 3 generations. And to be fair, that's just kind of Sinnoh in a nutshell. Just something about it, it just felt so different from Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn, and the starters did as well. But I've grown quite a fond appreciation for these guys, because you guys know I'm not really a big fan of the Unova starters. The Kalos starters, I love Greninja and Froakie, but they're okay. Sun and Moons I really like, and then Sword and Shield I don't like again. But yeah, so I've grown an appreciation for these guys. So Turtwig, honestly, of the 3, I used to think Turtwig was the weakest looking one, but I like him. I like him. Yeah, you know what? He is cute. He is cute. I don't know. He's kind of equal with Chimchar for me, because admittedly, I don't really. It's weird because I don't really like the first stages as much. I think the 3rd stages are when the Sinnoh starters really hit their stride. But Turtwig, you could definitely have a worse starter. I think Turtwig is adorable. Grotle, it's definitely that mid starter that's just kind of weird. Grotle's okay. It's just funny because, like, you get to Grotle and you immediately just want to get to Torterra, and that's how it is for most of these 2nd stages anyway. But yeah, whenever I see Grotle, I'm just like, oh my god, 20 more levels to get to Torterra. At least I think. I don't know. The Sinnoh starters are weird because I believe they evolve differently at, like, different levels. No, the starters have to evolve at 16 and then 36. That's just how it works. It makes the most sense. Grotle's cute, though. Torterra. Now, Torterra is awesome. I think Torterra is my favorite of the 3. Infernape and Empoleon, that is. It is a really, really cool looking Pokemon. I love the color, I love the look, I love the trees on its back, I love the inspiration for Torterra too. Oh man, like, I think even back then I knew Torterra was pretty awesome, but I could never get to Torterra because I didn't really like Turtwig that much. But now playing with Torterra, yeah, I played with Torterra in my first Brilliant Diamond playthrough, and I really liked him. So yeah, Torterra is awesome. I love him a lot. Chimchar. Admittedly, Chimchar, I don't know. I don't like him as much as other people. He was my friend's starter back in the day, and a lot of people really like Chimchar because he's like, oh, he's like a fire monkey. And I don't know. I think his design's okay. I never really liked him that much. Now, Monferno, I feel like is when Chimchar starts to kind of hit his stride. And I know I just said, like, oh, 2nd starter evolutions are usually weird and stuff. I feel like Monferno is actually, like, an exception to the rule. I like Monferno a lot. I think Monferno is definitely a Pokemon that I can vibe with until I hit Infernape, you know? It doesn't feel like Grotle where it's just like, ugh, let me just get to Torterra. Monferno's like, yeah, I could chill with you until I reach Infernape. You're not as good as Infernape, for sure. But I still like you more. Like, I don't know. If Chimchar looked more like Monferno coming out of, like, you know, the first stage evolution and stuff, I mean, obviously he'd have to be, like, scaled differently and, you know, babyified to be the first evolution. I feel like I'd like Chimchar a lot more if he just looked like Monferno. Infernape is really cool. It is so cool. I didn't like it that much back then, but oh my god, nowadays, like, Infernape's so awesome. I think the thing is it just, like, you compare it to Blaziken, and to be fair, I still like Blaziken more because probably just Hoenn bias, but man, the colors on Infernape, the look, the pose, like, Infernape is also one of the few Pokemon in the modern era that, like, it didn't get ruined, essentially, because a lot of the sprites for Pokemon, they just had so much charisma in Black and White, and, you know, and previous. But the thing is that a lot of them got screwed in the 3D because they just didn't have as much personality, or their art just doesn't translate that well to 3D. Like, for example, Zekrom. Zekrom is a big one for me. Like, it looks so good in Black and White, and then in generations afterward, it just looks awful. Like, just really, really bad. But Infernape retains a lot of what made it really cool in the previous generations. Like, it looks just good. So that's a big point in its favor. And just the fact that it's also a really good Pokemon also helps it out for me. Like, it has Iron Fist as its hidden ability, and it, you know, it kind of feels just like if you want to use Blaziken, but like a different version of Blaziken that has its own kind of thing going. Infernape really grew on me over the years. I used an Infernape in X and Y of all things, and I really liked it. I really did. Piplup. So Piplup was my starter back when I played Pokemon Pearl for the first time. Oh my god, a lot of P's today. Yeah, Piplup's adorable. Admittedly, if it's in the same boat as Oshawott for me, they feel interchangeable, and I do prefer Oshawott over Piplup. The only thing that I kind of get on Piplup for is I just feel like it's not unique looking, you know? Like, it's just a little water penguin. And it has a cute design, but that's just kind of it. Like, at least Oshawott has, like, the Scowl Chop and stuff like that. But Piplup is just kind of Piplup, you know? So it kind of looks a bit boring. Even though, back in the day, I chose it as my starter. And I still do love Piplup, don't get me wrong. But, I don't know, it definitely hasn't aged as well as the others for me. Which is ironic, because it was the one I chose. Prinplup. I don't know if it's just because I have fond memories of Prinplup, you know, because I played Pokemon Pearl back in the day with it. But I do like Prinplup. It's kind of boring, but it's I don't know, it's like a little fat penguin, you know? It's like Piplup, but a little bit better. And I don't know, like, I honestly think Prinplup it has a fun thing going. And I do love his cry. His cry might be better than Empoleon's for me, even though I do love Empoleon's. I don't know, I just love just the scream of Prinplup. It's fun. I don't know why I'm, like, stuttering on these Pokemon so much. It's just there's so many P's to them. Okay, hopefully Empoleon's better. Empoleon! Empoleon is so dang cool. It's also another one that looks pretty bad nowadays because it looked way cooler back in the day in Diamond and Pearl and stuff. But it's still cool. And it has the unique typing of Water Steel, so that just escalates it for me. It's so awesome that Empoleon has a unique typing. A part of me wants it to come back, but a part of me just says screw it and just let Empoleon keep Water Steel. It's just a really cool design, like the whole Emperor Penguin thing and like the trident on its head. Man, that's cool. That's so cool. I definitely didn't regret choosing Piplup back in the day when I saw Empoleon, because that thing ruled. It was awesome. Of the three, though, Empoleon has definitely been the one that has faded for me, too. I do like Torterra and Infernape more than it, but it's still awesome. It's still so cool. And, I mean, I guess it's a good time to round out what I think about the starters, but the reason why I like the Sinnoh starters so much is because it just felt like there was just, like, an idea behind these guys. Like, all three of them had really cool things going, you know? And I also like how they make kind of a weird triangle with each other, because you know how, like, water beats fire and then fire beats grass and stuff like that? It felt like the starters were made to counteract the other ones a bit. I mean, kinda. It's very subtle. Like, for example, Infernape can beat Empoleon because its fighting attacks can beat up its steel, essentially. So you have an option to fight Empoleon with it. You're not just screwed. Torterra can face off against Infernape because it has a ground typing, which is good against the fire. And, I mean, again, it doesn't really work because Empoleon has Steel, doesn't really go against Torterra. But if you wanted to make a stretch, you could say Water is able to hit Torterra for, like, neutral damage compared to no damage at all, you know, because it loses its water resistance because it has a ground typing. But then again, Torterra can just Earthquake or something, and Empoleon is weak to that now. So it's a very loose triangle, but I did appreciate the attempt nonetheless. Also, I just realized a lot of these Pokemon are going to take forever. Hopefully not. The starters probably are the longest entries because everyone loves starters. Starly. I think Starly's adorable. I want to say... Okay, no, because Rookity is a thing. Okay, wait, let me run through them all. Pidgey, Hoothoot. Oh, I do love Hoothoot. Oh, man. Talo, Starly, Bidoof. Sorry, I'm trying to think of them all in my head. Fletchling? Pikipeki? Pikipek? Yeah, Pikipek. And Rookity. I think Starly and Rookity are probably my favorite first area birds, because they're just little fat birds, and I don't know what it is about little fat birds that just get me. But I also like Hoothoot. I don't know. Hoothoot could be an honorable mention or something. Just by itself, Starly is a little cute bird. I used him in Ultra Sun and Moon of all things. I know, I love just messing up the formulas of these games, and just ruining the entire balancing. So that's why I didn't use it for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. But when I saw Starly, I felt very sad, because I'm like, oh, I want to use it, you know? Like, Starly is, like, the Pokemon to use in Sinnoh. And there's multiple reasons for that. One, because it's just easy to get. And two, because Staraptor is awesome. But we'll get to that. I like getting Starly, and then I name my Starly Gobbles, because it's Gobbles, even though I know it's not a turkey. Which, by the way, we need a turkey Pokemon. Come on, Game Freak, get on that. Or Ilka, I don't even know who's making these games anymore. Staravia. It's okay. It's another one of the cases where it's like, alright, I have to deal with you for a while before I'm able to get to the one I want, you know? Now I just want to compare, like, the second evolutions, you know? Like, okay, Pidgeotto. Here we go again. Pidgeotto. That one's actually pretty rad. Noctowl? Does Noctowl even count? I do like Noctowl, but it's like a final evolution. I'm not going to count it. Swellow. Well, I don't like Swellow in general, so... Yeah, and then Staravia. Yeah, the Pigeon from Gen 5, I don't like its mid-evolution either. Fletchinder, you know, that one's actually kind of cute. And then there's like another Pikipek. Yeah, I don't know. The second stage starter birds, like Route 1 birds, you know, they usually aren't that good. So, yeah, Staravia just kind of lives up to that. I don't know. Like, it's Starly, but bigger, you know, and it's just not as interesting until we get to Staraptor. Okay, here we go. Staraptor, baby. Oh my god, this thing was out of control back in the day. Because, oh my god, there's so much to talk about with Staraptor. And, unfortunately, it is another Pokemon where it just doesn't look as good as it did back then. The Diamond and Pearl sprite looks so awesome. Staraptor was legit back then. But nowadays, it doesn't look as good. But, you know, it's still Staraptor. Okay, so what is going on with Staraptor? Well, one, its design is just sick. Like, the horn on its head, come on, that's so cool. It has Intimidate, arguably one of the best abilities in the game. I don't know, people really like Intimidate. It gets insane moves. Oh my god, like, okay, because you gotta remember, this was Diamond and Pearl, and a lot of these moves were just coming into existence for the first time. And the starter birds, like the Route 1 birds, usually were not this awesome. And it could learn a new move called Brave Bird, which is really strong, and it was brand new back in the day. So, yeah, we saw it, it's like, oh my god, Brave Bird, you know? And then it could also learn Close Combat. Like, the idea that Staraptor, like a bird, could learn arguably one of the strongest fighting moves was just insanity. It was just like, what is this thing, you know? It's so strong for just being a Route 1 bird, you know? Oh my god, Staraptor was out of control. And it did, I don't know, it did break the mold of, like, the Route 1 birds being able to actually make a dent in, you know, competitive and just, like, being good in general. Because the Route 1 birds have always kind of sucked, you know, but Staraptor just broke the mold and was just like, no, I'm just gonna be awesome, you know? Now, I mean, Gen 5 didn't really live up to that, like, the Pigeon one for Gen 5. Unfezant, yes. It's funny, too, because I used Unfezant. in Black and White, that wasn't really that good. Talonflame from X and Y was amazing. Sun and Moon, actually, wait, was Toucannon good? I don't know. I actually don't know, so I don't think I should talk about him. And then Corviknight from Sword and Shield needs no introduction. So I feel like Staraptor was the one to kind of break that mold. It's just like, no, screw you. The Route 1 birds can be really, really cool and awesome, you know? So, I don't know. Staraptor, definitely one of the coolest Sinnoh Pokemon, in my opinion. Definitely one of the coolest flying type Pokemon, if not the coolest, you know? Bidoof. I will admit the meme status of Bidoof is kind of what makes Bidoof for me. Because back in the day, it was just forgettable. I did not like Bidoof that much back in the day. It was just kind of the Rattata of the game. And it was just like, it's cute, but like, I didn't want to use it, and no one wanted to use it, you know? And the idea of having a little beaver Pokemon, that's cool. But Bibarel is such a disappointment. But I guess we'll get to Bibarel. The best part of Bidoof is definitely the meme status, though. He just feels like a joke. He's goofy, you know? That's the endearing part of Bidoof for me, is like the internet, you know? If Bidoof wasn't a meme and people just kind of were silent about it and just silently didn't like it like I would be, then I definitely wouldn't like Bidoof as much, but that really does bring it up for me. Not to mention, his character is adorable in Explorers of Darkness, Time and Sky, which is a mystery dungeon. So I feel like that brings up Bidoof for me as well. Bibarel, oh my god, and talk about a Pokemon that already didn't look that good, but really doesn't look that good in the modern age. Like, sincerely, the sprites, oh my god. But Bibarel is somehow an even worse looking Bidoof. Like, I don't like it at all. And one time I did try to raise a Bibarel, and I was like, alright, we're gonna use Bibarel. No, I think by the second gym, I was done. I was like, nope, I'm not using this thing. And it's normal water! It's a normal water type. That always weirded me out. I mean, it makes sense on paper, but I'm just like, man, you couldn't even just be a water type. You had to be normal water. I don't know. I mean, I guess in hindsight, normal water does make a lot of sense, but at least make Bidoof normal water. I don't know. Bibarel was always weird for me. He has reached meme status of his own, but not as much as Bidoof, honestly. The thing is, with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, they do this brilliant thing. Because HMs aren't really a thing anymore. You could just kind of get them on your app or whatever, and you could use them whenever you want. Well, the game just kind of... Oh my god, Ilka. Oh. In some ways, you did really good with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and in some ways, you're just disappointing. But this is definitely not one of the disappointing things. Well, in the game, if you use an HM move, it just automatically summons Bidoof or Bibarel, depending on the HM, and it's so cool! Like, that's such a cool thing, and it really, like, instills them into Sinnoh for me. Because everyone used them as HM slaves, but the thing is, now that, like, these games are out, it's just, like, canon that they are, you know? Like, it's just, it's something else just going into the games and just being like, you know, I'm gonna use Cut on a Tree, and then it's just like, oh, a wild Bidoof appeared, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna surf, oh, a wild Bibarel appeared. Like, that's fun, you know? And it makes it so Sinnoh can't be Sinnoh unless you have Bidoof and Bibarel. So, yeah, that's why I like him a lot now. Kricketot. Kricketot is baby. It's adorable. I love Kricketot. And oddly enough, I feel like the sprite work changed for Kricketot, where back then it looked underwhelming, but nowadays it looks even more adorable. I don't know. I saw Kricketot in my first playthrough of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and I wanted one. Because I was like, oh, you're a little potato bug. You're just so cute. And I love its cry. Like, its cry is just like, man, oh my god. It and Kricketune's, you know? Which, we'll bring up Kricketune right now. Yeah, Kricketune's cry is a meme, but they both have just really cool sounding cries. Really, really cool sounding cries. It's really funny because cries can make or break a Pokemon for me sometimes. Like, if it has an underwhelming cry, sometimes I don't care, you know? But, like, you know, if it's like Reshiram or something, like, its cry just sounds so cool, you know? That can help it a lot, in my opinion. But yeah, Kricketune. Honestly, I don't really like Kricketune as much as Tot, but its cry, I don't know. Like, its cry is literally the only thing about it that I like more than Kricketot's. But I still prefer Tot. Tune is just kind of, he's okay. I don't know. I'm really in it for the Tot. Shinx. So, Shinx is famous. Like, people really, really like Shinx. Probably one of the best shinies in the Sinnoh decks, if I'm being honest. That like, yellow looks so good on it. But Shinx by itself is really adorable, really cute. He was like a starter in Mystery Dungeon, and it's funny because I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing Shinx become like a legit starter in other things because it fits the mold really well. It's kind of like the Pikachu of this game. You know, I mean, I know Pachirisu is the Pikachu, but like, it's like the electric cute one that you want to use and stuff. I don't know. I guess any electric type that's cute could be considered the Pikachu of the game, so I guess that's not fair. But yeah, there's nothing really to say about Shinx. It's just like, it's adorable. Look at him. Like, he's amazing. Luxio is cool. Yeah. I don't think he's as bad as, like, the other secondary evolutions and stuff, but I don't think he's amazing either. But you could definitely live with Luxio for a while. He is pretty cool, too. You could just tell he's just, like, waiting to get to Luxray, though. And yeah, Luxray, oh my god, such a cool Pokemon. I wish it was better. Everyone wishes this thing was better. It also has Intimidate, too, which is kind of funny to me, because like, it just seems like for Sinnoh, they're just like, oh, everyone gets Intimidate, you know, because everyone loves Intimidate. Yeah, Luxray is really cool. I've used Luxray, I think, twice in my life. Yeah, I used it for my Platinum playthrough, and then I think I did it for my Brilliant Diamond as well. Yeah, Luxray's amazing. I really, really like Luxray. And if you get a shiny one, oh, so good, so good. Oh, geez, I just noticed that the list on Bulbapedia of the Sinnoh Pokemon actually it's not exclusive to them, so I kind of have to just remember off the top of my head, which shouldn't be too hard, because I just saw the next on the list was like Abra. I'm like, well, that's not a Sinnoh Pokemon. There we are, there's the boy, Budew. I've always loved Budew. And I guess we'll just talk about the whole Roselia line here, because I have thoughts on that as well. Yeah, Budew was always amazing to me. I always thought it was super duper cute. Cute cry, cute everything. It wasn't butchered between Diamond and Pearl and, you know, nowadays, modern days, like the jump to 3D. It still has retained its adorableness. I remember back in the day when my friend was playing Diamond and Pearl, and I didn't have a DS yet, or Pearl or anything, you know, so I had to pretty much live out my Sinnoh journey through his game. So I caught a Budew, and I named it Buddha. Yeah, I named it Buddha, of all things. I mean, I guess in hindsight it does make sense, but it was just funny to me. So that kind of became a meme between us. So there's just the memory aspect of Budew as well, you know, because I just remember me and my friend playing Diamond and Pearl, so that automatically raises Budew in my mind. But Budew by himself is really, really cute. I wish he wasn't as hard to evolve. I don't know, friendship evolutions are just kind of dumb in general, in my opinion. But it's cool to get like a Route 1, well, not Route 1, but like an early game grass type that will become something really good later on. Which leads us to Roserade. And this is going to happen a lot with Sinnoh, because you can't talk about like Roselia or anything because they don't count. But Roserade is really, really, really cool. One of my favorite grass types that isn't a starter even. It just, grass poison back then just wasn't a good type combination, and there were no really good grass poison types. But Roserade came in and was just like Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, like, oh my god, it's so much fun. Yeah, Roserade is so awesome. And I don't know, I'll probably get heat for this because I know people love Roselia, but I don't like Roselia. So Roserade for me just like fixed Roselia. Honestly, this entire line just fixed Roselia for me, because Roselia was always a weird Pokemon. It was just like this random grass poison that you could find in Hoenn. It wasn't that good. And then this Pokemon's like, alright, we're gonna give it a pre-evolution and a post-evolution. Like, that's so much fun. It felt like they just kind of took Roselia in and just fixed it and gave it a family. I don't know. I really, really love that they did that. But anyway, Roserade is awesome. Great design. I love the Masquerade thing going on. It's awesome competitively. It has a really cool shiny as well. Like the purple petals and the black petals. Like, come on, that's really cool. I don't know what it's referencing, but that's really cool. Cranidos? I always thought it was Cranidos. Cranidos, it's cute. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. I like it. It's just kind of whatever to me. I honestly think Tyrant from X and Y does what Cranidos wanted to do, but just better, you know? Because if you have a Pokemon like that, you kind of want it to be like a runt, you know what I mean? Like a little stubby runt. And yeah, Cranidos is okay. Now, Rampardos is actually pretty legit. Like, that thing looks awesome. And, man, it's like Sky High Attack does it for me, too. It's so cool. I wish it was better, because it just sucks. But, yeah, Rampardos is it's so cool. Like, just look at that design, man. Just look at that design. Is this thing based on a raptor? I think so, right? I don't know for sure. But yeah, Rampardos is so cool. I want to say it's one of the best fossils? Okay, wait, let me run through the fossils real quick. Kabuto, Kabutops, Almanite, Omastar. Well, that's not fair, because I love them a lot. Lileep, and, okay, the Hoenn fossils I don't like. And then Sinnoh, Unova. I do like Archeops. X and Y didn't have fossils. Oh, wait, no, duh, they did. Tyrant and Tyrantrum. Sorry, I'm just kind of mumbling if you can't hear. And then, certain shields are interesting. Okay. Yeah, Rampardos is like one of the cooler fossils in my opinion. Oh man, I also forgot about Aerodactyl. Huh. Crazy. Shieldon. It's kind of just like Cranidos for me, where it's just like, alright, you're just kind of, I don't know, you're just kind of there. You're just like, cute fossil. Yeah. Though Bastiodon doesn't do it as much as Rampardos does for me. I think it's just the fact that his like face is just like a giant plate, and it just looks more awkward than cool to me. I know it's supposed to be like this defensive pivot, but it never felt like that. I don't know, it's just funny because I felt like Game Freak after a while kind of learned, where it's just like, hey, if we make defensive walls, we shouldn't give them rock steel because that gives them like a quad weakness, and then it kind of undoes it undoes what we were trying to set up. Burmy. Burmy is also a Pokemon that I have fond memories of in my heart. I don't know why I gravitated towards stupid Burmy back in the day, but I think Burmy is adorable. It's one of the cutest bug types ever, in my opinion. Like, just the fact that, like, just look at him. Just look at this guy. Look at him. And, like, depending on the environment that you're in, Burmy will, like, decorate itself to be that, like, cloak. That's so fun, you know? Like, that's so cool. Like, just the idea of it just picking up little leaves and putting it on its body. Like, come on, oh my gosh, Burmy. Man, it's so cute. And it always hurt me, too. Because whenever I'd watch Top 10 Worst Pokemon back in the day, Burmy was, like, on every list. And I'm just like, stop being mean to Burmy. He's just trying to put leaves on. And this is the part where it gets weird, because I actually don't like its evolutions. Wormadam, I mean, I like it more than Mothim, but I always thought it was weird. Like, it's just like, alright, the female Burmies can become Wormadam. And it's like, alright, cool, I guess. It just looks like Burmy, but feminine? I don't know. It always weirded me out. I don't know why Wormadam is a thing. I mean, honestly, if Wormadams could be male or female, then I'd probably like it more, but it's just more weird to me than anything. And then Mothim's another one. Like, why Mothim? Why does Burmy become Mothim? This thing is so boring. We do not need another bug flying type. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Mothim either. Like, it's literally just like another Butterfree type of Pokemon, but it's just like not that good. So it's just like, well, what's the point, you know? And you lose everything that made Burmy fun, you know? I mean, you could argue, you could make a solid argument that's just like, well, if you don't want Mothim, just get Wormadam. And it's like, okay, well, yeah. I guess I could, you know. Might as well have more Pokemon than not, but still, Mothim is just weird to me. But I guess I'm just thinking about it as like a Smash Brothers slot or something, where somehow, if something fills that slot, then the designers are like, oh, we don't need to make another, you know. Like the people who are under the impression that like clone characters like take up development time, even though they probably don't as much, you know. Anyway, yeah, let's get away from that rant. Combee! Combee! I do like Combee. On terms of being a bee, I don't think it's as cool as Bibarel, but it's cute. I love the honeycomb shape. I like the whole thing where the females are harder to find. It made finding one really rewarding back in the day. Yeah, Combee. There was like a whole mythos to Combee, because we tried to get a female Combee back in the day when we were playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and doing the stupid honey trees, and it was so hard. Like the rates of getting it, the female one, were so hard. I don't even know if we ever got a female one, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna have to ask my friend if he remembers. But yeah, I don't know. Combee is just kind of in that same thing where it's just like there were just so many memories of Combee. And I like that the female ones are hard to get. I don't know. It just adds a fun little dynamic to it. Vespiquen. I think I like this thing more than Beedrill. It's definitely a cooler bee. Man, the whole dress thing being like a honeycomb, its design is just so good. But man, do I wish this thing was better. It makes me so sad that it's not better because it's so hard to get. So you can at least be good, you know? Like Feebas. Like I thought Combee was like the new Feebas, where, you know, if you somehow evolved it to melodic, then you had a really good Pokemon, and I thought that was going to be what Vespiquen was, but yeah, Vespiquen is just kind of, on the power side. It's not that good at all, even though it has like 3 signature moves, which are Attack Order, Defend Order, and Heal Order, and it's just really sad. I don't know, I wanted this thing to be awesome, and I can take solace that its design is awesome, and it will always be awesome, but man, I wish it was better. I really wish it was better. Pachirisu. Oh, this one's interesting. So, I did like Pachirisu back in the day, because I was just like a little scrub who liked Pikachu clones. Sorry, I don't want to insult you if you like Pikachu clones, because I definitely do have a soft spot in my heart for Minun and Plusle. But yeah, Pachirisu, I did oddly use one for my Platinum team, and funny enough, I carried that thing to the Elite Four. Like, I don't know what it was, but I kept using Pachirisu, and I think the thing is that I was just shocked that this thing could keep up with my team. Like, I'm like, this thing is not actually that bad, especially with, like, Hyper Fang and Super Fang and stuff. I think it gets those. But yeah, Pachirisu can keep up, and I just felt very validated, because probably the most well-known thing about Pachirisu is its spot as, like, a regional champion, or like just a champion of VGC altogether, because I was watching VGC a lot back then, and I watched the finals. I forgot what year it was, but a guy called Sajin Park, I think? Yes, Sajin Park. He brought Pachirisu to VGC, which is like the Pokemon World Tournament, like you know, Evo essentially. And he brought it, and he had like Garchomp and like, you know, all these like crazy strong Pokemon. But he brought Pachirisu, of all things, because it had the perfect bulk, it had the great moves, like Nuzzle and stuff, and Hyper Fang and Super Fang or whatever, and it was just so, and it fit that niche, and I don't know, just seeing Pachirisu able to do that really, really, like, put it high up for me. I honestly think that if it didn't make World Tournament or anything like that, if it wasn't able to do that, no one would care about Pachirisu. But I don't know, that definitely added a mythos to it for me. Not to mention, its new sprite is actually better than the old. Like, its 3D look, how it kind of waves its tail around, it's just way better than the sprites back then, in my opinion. So I don't know, Pachirisu, that's an interesting Pokemon for sure. Buizel. You know what sucks? I want to like these Pokemon more. I want to like Buizel and Floatzel more, but I just don't. Like, I saw Buizel back in the day, I'm like, oh my god, that thing's adorable, I have to catch it. And not only was Floatzel just not really that good, or Buizel in general, but like, I don't know, it lost its luster for me. I'm like, why don't I like the little weasel, the little water weasel, you know? I don't know what it was. I just don't like Buizel as much. It's ultimately just okay to me. I don't know. It's so weird to have that relationship where it's like, I want to like you more, but just something is keeping me from liking you a lot. It is definitely a weird relationship. And then Floatzel is pretty much the same. I do like it more than Buizel because I feel like it has a little bit more going on, but it's just not that much better, in my opinion. I don't know. People out there are definitely going to like Buizel and Floatzel. I wish I did. I really wish I liked these things more, but I don't know, something about it. It's just like, I can't find it in myself to care that much about them. It's weird. Cherubi. It's cute, but that's just kind of it. Little fat cherry. Got a weird face on the side. But I can't judge it because Weezing also has that too, and I love Weezing, so yeah. Cherubi's just kind of there. But it is better than Cherim. Cherim is so weird. I mean, it's just got an ugly design, just in general. Like, the whole eggplant thing looks really bad. But then I don't know, I feel like for Cherim, you almost can't count its design that it has initially, because then it comes out when the sun's out and becomes, you know, the actual Cherim. And Cherrim's Cherrim's forgettable. I don't know. It definitely gets roped in with those really hyper cute grass types that aren't that good, you know, like Whimsicott and such. Well, but no, even then, Whimsicott's just way better because it's also a fairy type. And it has Prankster, so you can't even rope it in with Whimsicott. I don't know, I just feel like Cherrim is sadly just unmemorable. You know, even though it has a unique ability, it's not memorable. So, I don't know. Shellos. Wait. Is it East or West Sea? Because this thing has two forms. I like the blue one more, so I'm just gonna be showing the blue one. I don't really like the pink one as much. I think blue just looks better on it, you know, the blue and green. And I like the ears. Like, the ears are actually pretty adorable. Shellos is cute. It's cute. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird thing because I don't really like Gastrodon that much. So I feel like it kind of leaks into Shellos in kind of how I view it. But Shellos by itself is pretty cute. So, yeah, I can't get on Shellos too much. Gastrodon is a nightmare in competitive, and it's troubled me for so many years. And I don't really like its design that much either. I always thought it was just kind of boring. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's ultimately just okay to me. I don't think it loses out as much as Shellos does, depending on the one you get. Because pink or blue, I feel like they both look pretty okay, you know? Yeah, I don't know, not a lot of thoughts on Gastrodon, honestly. I will say it is interesting, because I don't know if it was Shellos and Gastrodon, or just Shellos or just Gastrodon, but they were originally going to be in the Hoenn region. So this thing could have been a Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon, but they got, I don't know why, but they got pushed to Sinnoh. So it's really interesting to think that this thing could have been a Hoenn Pokemon. I mean, part of its design, I don't know if it's just because, you know, my brain's kind of linking them now, but it does kind of feel Hoenn-y to me, you know? I don't know, something about it just feels very Hoenn-like. Like, the designs in Sinnoh just feel very vibrant, you know? And just like, you know, wide-eyed and stuff like that. But Gastrodon and Shellos just kind of feel like, alright, we're just here, you know? I mean, that's why I like a lot of the Hoenn designs. It's just because a lot of them are just kind of like, boom, there it is. That's what it looks like, you know? Sinnoh feels like it's like a magical girl anime compared to Hoenn, you know what I mean? I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying, like, that's just kind of the feel of the designs, you know? Ambipom. Apom's better. Yeah, Apom's cuter. There's multiple things going against Ambipom for me. And to be fair, I like that this thing exists. I really do. I like it that it exists because Apom needed something. I just wish it took more of a note from Apom. One, the two tails. I don't like the two tails. It's kind of ugly and weird. Makes it look like a mutant. It has a weird face. Its hair kind of looks weird too. I don't know how they would change up Ambipom to make it look like Apom more, but I don't like it. I don't know. The thing that it's weird, like I said, I like that it exists. I love that it exists even. But it just looks weird compared to Apom. I don't know. Sinnoh evolutions are in such a weird place for me because I feel like the evolutions to like past generation Pokemon are either super ugly and they suck, or the designs completely finish what the Pokemon was trying to start, you know, make it look completely awesome. And they're also great and competitive. Like, I feel like there's no in between. Like, they either suck or they're amazing. Also, the Sinnoh evolutions are in a weird spot for me, too, because I feel like it kind of makes Sinnoh lose a bit of its identity, because there are a lot of evolutions in this game. And the thing is, I feel like when people say, like, hey, my favorite Sinnoh Pokemon, it's usually an evolution. That's why I always feel kind of weird where it's just like, oh, what's your favorite Sinnoh Pokemon? Oh, like Glade or something. It's just like, but is that a Sinnoh Pokemon? No, it's kind of just Ralts. It's just finishing off Ralts, you know what I mean? It's like such a weird space for me. I always feel like I need to add an asterisk when I say like, what's my favorite Sinnoh Pokemon? Because I feel bad if I just like say an evolution to a Pokemon that already exists. You get what I'm saying? You know? It's kind of like, what's your favorite Sword and Shield Pokemon? Oh, Obstagoon. It's just like, is it? You know, because Obstagoon is just Lanoon, you know? Even though Obstagoon looks a lot different from Lanoon, so... And also, being a Galarian form is also have its own thing. Okay, bad example. Drifloon. Yeah, Drifloon's great. One of the best ghost types for me. I mean, look at it. It's so cute. It is so cute. And I know, like, Jigglypuff was supposed to be, like, the balloon Pokemon. No, this thing is the balloon Pokemon. And it didn't lose its luster over the years either with sprites and stuff. I do think the original was cute because the animation had it, like, inflate. It was so cute! And, oh my god, I like the thing where it, like, comes on Fridays because it's just out there just chilling. I love the thing, too, where there's, like, the Pokedex entry. And it's kind of creepy, but it's more funny than creepy. Where, like, Drifloon tries to steal kids away, and kidnap children and stuff. But the thing is that, like, it's a balloon, so the kids just kind of grab it and use it as a balloon. So it's, I don't know, just the idea of it in its head just being like, no, no, you pathetic mortal. You know, just like full demon mode in its head. But it's just like a little cute Drifloon, and then just like the little kid dragging it along while eating ice cream or whatever. It's just like, unhand me, you know? I don't know, just that really kills me. So yeah, Drifloon has a lot going in its favor for me. Drifblim, I don't like it as much as Drifloon, but it's definitely not bad, and I still love it. I love that it makes sense, too. Going from a balloon to a blimp, genius. Absolutely genius. It's got a cool design, it's got a really cool ability in Aftermath. Yeah, Drifblim's awesome. I like him a lot, too. Baneri. Baneri's cute. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, comparing it to, like, you know, Bunnelby or something, Baneri's cute. But there's not a lot to Baneri. It's just a cute little bunny, you know? I think I do prefer it to Lopunny, though. Because the thing that sucks is I want to like Lopunny, but it's just... it's so distractingly, like, mature? You know? I'm trying not to say it. But it's just so distracting, you know? I don't know. I mean, I like that there's a design going. There's like an idea there. And I like it when designs have ideas. But Lopunny's just distracting for me. Now, to be fair, I do like Mega Lopunny. I actually like Mega Lopunny a lot. But even though that thing still feels like they're trying to go for like the female look, at least it's more subtle than the original Lopunny. I don't know. Lopunny's just more distracting for me than anything. Mismagius. Another one of those evolutions that just needed to exist. One thing that I will say is that I just wish Mismagius had another type. It's random, but I would have really liked this thing to be Ghost and Psychic. I want to say that's a unique type, but even if it's not a common type at least. Because one of the things that always weirded me out with Mismagius is it went for more the witch look compared to Misdreavus, and it's even called the magic Pokemon. So why not just make it a psychic type? You know, like Ghost Psychic would have really fit Mismagius well, and would have at least been able to make it carve out its own niche. Because Mismagius is just kind of whatever, you know? I love its design, but it's just kind of whatever ultimately, and it makes me sad, you know? I wish this thing was better in battle, you know? By the way, there's another Pokemon on this list that I wish got the Psychic type, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Honchkrow. Honchkrow's great. I really like Honchkrow a lot. It finished off Murkrow for me, it finished that design, and it made it its own thing. Because Murkrow back in the day was just like, oh, it's like a little crow and he's got a little hat, you know? But Honchkrow's like, oh no, we're gonna make it like a mafia boss. We're gonna go like full, like thick mode on it. We're gonna give it some really cool moves and utility and abilities. Honchkrow's great. Yeah, not really much else to say. I guess, okay, I will say this. Its faint animation in Battle Revolution is one of my favorite things ever. And I'm so sad that didn't come back into, like, the modern era. Because when it faints, it, like, tips its hat. And I'm just like, come on, that's so fun, you know? I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Honchkrow. And not to mention its name. Its name is just so brilliant. Honchkrow. Cause head honcho. Oh my god, it's so good. Glameow. I don't know. Especially just with all the cat Pokemon nowadays. It just kind of feels like Glameow is just kind of whatever, you know? I don't know. It's not as cute as Skitty, and it's not as good as, like, Purloin. So, I don't know. Glameow's just in that weird spot where it's just kind of whatever. Not to mention, cat Pokemon are hard because I feel like they never do enough to make them, like, fun or, like, unique, you know? I like designs that have ideas behind them. And Glameow's just like, let's just make like a cat. So, I don't know. Purugly, I'm not gonna lie, Purugly's weird, because I don't like it, yet I do. I like it more than Glameow, that's for sure. It has a fun cry as well, but the thing is, the number one thing I remember from Purugly is it's Mars's Pokemon from Team Galactic, and it's kind of the first wall you hit in the game, so that's kind of what makes it memorable for me. It's not like Whitney's Miltank by any means, but, you know, whenever I see Purugly, I just think of Mars, and it's just like, oh, yeah, we have to beat Purugly, you know? But yeah, nothing much else. Purugly's just kind of forgettable for me. If it wasn't for Mars having it, then it would just be forgettable, you know? Chingling. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's cute. I think I do prefer it to Chimecho, but it's... Actually, no, Chimecho still has cute things going on with it, too. Honestly, Chingling, I'm glad you're here, for sure, but I don't need you. Nor do I really need Chimecho, but I don't really need you either. I don't know. Having the idea that it's like a little bell's pretty cute, but there's nothing really much else to Chingling. Not to mention, it doesn't really fulfill that Sinnoh-ism for me, because Sinnoh also has a lot of baby Pokemon. But the thing is, a lot of the baby Pokemon serve as early game ways to get like some of the better Pokemon in the game. Like, for example, Budew can become Roserade, you know? And you can also get Munchlax, which becomes Snorlax, you know? There's also Happiny, who becomes Chansey. So that's how I kind of view the baby Pokemon in this game, where they're early game ways to get like some of the better Pokemon in the game. So, I don't know. Chingling doesn't really fulfill that, because Chimecho's just kind of whatever, you know? Stunky! I think Stunky's pretty cute. I like Stunky, yeah. I have a weird relationship with Stunky as well, because it was a Diamond exclusive. And the thing that sucks is, back in the day, I actually kind of wanted to try to complete the National Dex in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Well, you can't, because you need Pokemon Diamond version. And I could never, ever justify purchasing Pokemon Diamond just to complete the National Dex. So that was always a thing for me. That kind of ruins Stunky a bit for me, because I just think of it. Because I think it's literally the only Pokemon that I needed to buy a completely separate game entirely to get. Because I had a Dialga. Like, someone traded me a Dialga, but that was the one that I needed. And it's not even in Platinum. So it's like, what the heck? You know, it's so stupid. Now, Skuntank, I do like. I like its design more. I just like it a lot more than Stunky. Not to mention, what really sells me on Skuntank 2 is that it's one of the antagonists from Mystery Dungeon, and I always thought it was so much fun. Like, the Team Skull, you know, and it had, like, the theme, like, the rum, bum, 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 bum. I'm probably remembering it weird, but, yeah, Skuntank was always fun for me. I always really liked Skuntank. Not to mention, the fact that Stunky and Skuntank are Poison Dark really adds to the mythos for me, too. I don't know why I keep calling it mythos. I keep using that word, like, interchangeably. I'm sorry about that. The appeal. Let's just say the appeal. It adds to the appeal, because these things could have easily been Poison or Poison Normal, but nope, they said Poison Dark, and thank you, Game Freak, for doing that, because these Pokemon are actually pretty cool now because they have the Dark type. You could have easily made them Poison Normal, and that would have sucked. Bronzor or whatever. It's okay. It's just kind of there. It's just like a little plate thing. Man, yeah, I don't think there's anything to say about Bronzor. Yeah, you're just kind of waiting to get Bronzong. Okay, and then Bronzong. I do like the idea that it looks like a, like, bell, you know? Like, that's pretty neat. But I kind of don't like Bronzong, because I used one back in Diamond and Pearl, you know, when I did my Pearl playthrough, and I really didn't like it. And to be fair, I will admit that's also on me, because when you're doing a Pokemon playthrough, don't use tanks unless they can also do decent damage, because if you do tanks, then the game is just going to be really boring. Like, for example, going through Black and White, you know, and everyone knows that one of the best Black and White Pokemon is Ferrothorn, but I want to know if anyone has legit played with a Ferrothorn on their team, because that thing's only purpose is to tank and be slow and just like waste turns essentially. Because in competitive, that's awesome. But oh my god, raising one and having that be your attack? No, it's boring. And that's what happened with Bronzong, it was just a defensive wall. And it's funny because this story's gonna repeat once we get to another Pokemon on this list, because I apparently didn't learn my lesson. I like Bronzong, but this just has that weird appeal for me where I'm like, I'm never using that thing again. I learned my lesson. Bonsly. Okay, yep. Yeah, I think it's best baby for me. I think it is. It's actually, like, it's legitimately top 10 Pokemon for me as well. I don't know. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, and I'll admit that. But the thing is, it's so adorable. Look at that thing. It's so cute. It's not helpful. It evolves into a Pokemon that is just not that good still. But something about it is just like, whenever I see it, I have to have it. And it's so funny. Because for when I do different trainers and when I do different games and stuff, I never try to catch the same type of Pokemon, you know? But I always had a weird headcanon that all my trainers in my games, like all of them, have to run across a Bonsly at some point, because I love Bonsly. You know, I don't really use Bonsly because it's a weak little baby Pokemon, but yeah, I don't know, Bonsly. Bonsly's always been fun for me, especially Mystery Dungeon too, because Mystery Dungeon, you don't have to worry about like the meta that much or evolution, so I'm just like, screw it, I'm just gonna bring Bonsly along, you know? Bonsly's amazing. I love it in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, because it's a Pokeball in that. It's only in Brawl too, it's not in Smash 4 or Ultimate, to no one's surprise. But the thing is, you could pick it up and throw it, and it does so much damage, and it's so funny. Okay, and then the last thing about Bonsly. So, it was one of the Pokemon that they used to advertise Sinnoh. And honestly, Sinnoh's probably the one region they probably advertised the most before we actually got it. Because Pokemon used to do that back then, where they would hint to the next generation of Pokemon, you know? Like, for example, Gold and Silver, we saw glimpses of Ho-Oh in the anime, you know? And we saw Togepi. And Togepi was added to Gold and Silver. So they would constantly do that. Hoenn, I believe, had Kecleon showed off before Hoenn actually came out. So it was just fun to see that back then. They don't really do that nowadays at all. I think it's just because, like, you know, the yearly release schedule, you know, so you're gonna see it soon anyway. But back then it's like, whoa, what's that thing? It's like, oh, you'll know in a year or two, you know? But Bonsly was one of the ones they did for Sinnoh. Yeah, it was like Weavile, Bonsly, Lucario, Mime Jr. Like, there were a few. And Bonsly was like in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And just seeing it, it was so much fun. And you had to like chase it around, and you could use it in the bingo too. Oh my god, yeah, Bonsly, best baby, and one of my favorite Pokemon altogether. Yeah, it's so funny, because I feel like a bunch of Poketubers are like, oh, what's your top 10 Pokemon? It's like, oh man, Mewtwo, Blastoise, Garchomp, and me, I'm like, Bonsly, Budew, Trico, you know what I mean? Mime Jr. This is funny, because, I think Mime Jr. is actually pretty adorable. I like him a lot. I will say, he beats out the other Mimes for me. I don't like Mr. Mime, but I actually kind of like Mime Jr. I'm actually using one in my Brilliant Diamond right now, and oh my god, just this little walking cycle of him flailing his arms, I'm just like, come on, you're so cute. I just feel like Mime Jr. just feels like kind of a more modern adaptation of Mr. Mime, where it's not like creepy, and it's actually just kind of like your little best friend, you know? While Mr. Mime is legit kind of creepy, you know? And I'm not actually a big fan of Mr. Rhyme either, to be honest. I like Mr. Rhyme more than Mime, but I don't know, just the whole Mime family has always been weird to me. But Mime Jr. can stay. It's so cute. And I also love that it's part fairy now. Like, that's so much fun. I will say, as one last thing, screw Game Freak sometimes, man. But they didn't make a Galarian Mime Jr. for Sword and Shield. I don't know why. That would have been so much fun to see a little Ice Mime Jr. But they didn't do that. And it's so sad, because I would have loved to see that. Happiny. I used to like Happiny a lot. I still do. But I don't like it as much. I think the pouch kind of gets to me, because it looks like it's wearing a diaper, and I don't know. Pokemon that look like that, they're just kind of weird to me. I think Happini's still really cute, though. Yeah, I don't know. I like it as a way to get an early game Chansey, and I think it fits Chansey's line like a glove, but yeah, I don't know. Happini, yeah, I used to like it a lot more, but now it's just kind of okay. Yeah, but it can still stay. I like that it exists. I like that the egg inside the pouch, I believe, is like a little rock, and it's not a legit egg. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the lore with it. But yeah, that's that's ultimately my thoughts on Happini. Oh my god, going through these Pokemon is so confusing, because I was about to talk about Cleffa, but I'm like, oh wait, no, Cleffa was Johto. Oh, Chatot. I feel like all my love for this Pokemon comes from two things. One, it's in the Explorers game, and it's kind of like the Squidward of the game, in my opinion. Like, he's just a really fun character in Mystery Dungeon. And also, in the main series, Chatot's kind of hard to get, but back in the day in Diamond and Pearl, they had a mic on the DS, and yes, it was as bad as you would imagine. Like, it could not pick up anything. But Chatot had this unique move called Chatter. I don't know if it still exists. I think it does, but I don't know. It definitely doesn't record you anymore. But you could talk into the mic and record a clip that Chatot would use in battle. So you could, like, scream into the mic, and and then whenever you'd use Chatter with Chatot, it would say that line. And I don't know, I just feel like that adds so much fun to Chatot, honestly. I wish they still let you do it, because, man, the memes that would happen, just the memes would be amazing. But other than that, Chatot's kind of forgettable. I feel like without Chatter, it would probably just be the Farfetch'd of the game, you know? I wouldn't mind seeing Chatot get an evolution someday. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But unfortunately, evolutions seem to be linked to Regenary forms, and I don't really know what a Regenary Chatot would look like, you know? Man, I really do have to be careful. Because I had to skip, like 5 Pokemon to get to the next Sinnoh Pokemon, so I have to make sure I don't skip over any Sinnoh Pokemon. Spiritomb. Spiritomb is really cool. I want to say I like it more than Sableye, but I do still like Sableye, especially because Sableye reminds me of, like, Stitch. But Spiritomb is pretty cool. Like, the whole odd keystone, and it, like, comes out and it looks like that, you know? And I don't know, like, there's just a lot of fun stuff with Spiritomb. Like, it's hard to get, you know? I mean, that's not fun, but, like, it's not just some Pokemon you could just be like, oh, there's Spiritomb, you know? It took some work to get. It has a really cool look. It has a really cool face. I loved its sprites back in the day. It didn't get butchered in 3D, but it still looks pretty good. I remember as the lead that Cynthia would use. So whenever you'd fight Cynthia, she would always pull out Spiritomb first. And back then, Spiritomb had no weakness, so it was just like, oh man, that's kind of intimidating. So yeah, Spiritomb's awesome. I like him a lot. Gibble. Whoa, we're already at the pseudo legendary, huh? All right, Gibble. Gibble is super cute. I think it's kind of underrated still, because, like, I don't know, I never see any Gibble plushies or anything, but it's so fat and tiny and small that I just feel like he deserves respect. He deserves your time, and he deserves your respect. I think Gibble is a lot of fun. I think the cool thing with Gibble, too, was Gibble, oddly enough, feels like an Easter egg, because in Diamond and Pearl, you could completely go through the entire game and not know that Gibble existed until you got the Cynthia. Like, there's nothing telling you that there is a Gibble or Gibble line in the game, because to find Gibble, you have to go under, like, the cycling bridge or whatever, the cycling road, and it's like in this cave that you can't see. You have to just kind of, like, go under and up. So, and you could just find a Gibble in there. And then if you raise Gibble, you get Garchomp, you know? So there's just kind of that cool layer to me where it feels kind of like an Easter egg, too. Yeah, I always really liked Gibble a lot. Gabite's, yeah, he's kind of just the middle one, you know? Just like, you're not as cute as Gibble, and you're not as cool as Garchomp. You're just kind of Gabite. And unfortunately, you have to spend a lot of time with Gabite. Actually, how much time do you have to spend with Gabite before you get Garchomp? Okay, you get Gabite at level 24, and then you evolve it into Garchomp at level 48. So, the thing is, that doesn't sound that bad on paper, right? That's like around like 20 levels, just like the starters. But the thing is, dragons level up slower. And not only that, you're leveling up later. So you're gonna spend even more time leveling up. You're not leveling up to 36, you're leveling it up to 48. So it's gonna be a while before you get Garchomp. I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of Gabite, and I never really was. Garchomp. Yeah, this thing's awesome. I'm slowly having my heart thawed towards Garchomp because I really didn't like this thing for the longest time. Now, it's nothing against its design. Its design is really cool. Like, it's so awesome. But you know, you guys want to know my favorite dragon? My favorite dragon type? At least I'm pretty sure it's still my favorite. One of these days, I need to go through them all and figure that out. But you want to know my favorite dragon type? Flygon. From Hoenn. And you want to know what type Flygon is? Dragon Ground. And Garchomp is Dragon Ground. And the thing is, with Game Freak and their balancing, they did not make it so that there's any point to using Flygon over Garchomp. There is no point to using Flygon over Garchomp. No point. At all. It's not better defense-wise or anything. So, Garchomp just kind of came in, stole all, like, popularity from Flygon, and then just annihilated competitive. So, to me, I kind of subconsciously view Garchomp as just kind of the jock. Kind of, you know, just like bullying the poor kids, you know? And I'm just like, man, it completely ruined Flygon, you know? I mean, Flygon will always just be Flygon, you know, and it won't stop it if it did suck, you know? But the thing is, it's just a better Dragon Ground, and everyone's just gonna use Garchomp instead because there's no point to using Flygon, you know? So that's kind of what happened for me. But now I'm kind of starting to use Garchomp on my own, you know, in my own playthroughs and stuff. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I always knew it was good. I don't know. I mean, there's more separations with it in Flygon these days, but that's really the only reason why I'm just, like, so hard on Garchomp. It's just because, like, I had to deal with it crushing my team, and also whenever I see it, I just think, I just wish Flygon was as good as you know what I mean? It's a really, really petty thing, but, you know, I'm just being honest. Some of these Pokemon have really petty reasons why I like them or dislike them, so I'm just being honest. Munchlax! Okay, I forgot, Munchlax was also a Pokemon they advertised Sinnoh with. I love Munchlax a lot, and the thing is that when I saw this thing in Destiny Deoxys back in the day, I was just like, what is that? It was so cute and so adorable for me. Just like little Munchlax eating everything. There's multiple reasons I love Munchlax, though. One, it's an early game Snorlax. Not only is it a way to get a Snorlax in the early game, but it's also good. It's also a pretty good Pokemon for the early game, if you can get one. It's a nightmare to get one. It's an absolute nightmare to get one. But if you can get one, it's an early game Snorlax. It's a diet Snorlax. It's, you know, it's not as good as Snorlax, but it's still good in its own way. It's not just like a baby Pokemon that you're like, okay, evolve, 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 evolve. Okay, finally I got Chansey, you know? Munchlax is its own thing. And I like that too, because with Eviolite, Munchlax kind of has his own niche too, so that's a lot of fun. It just feels like this thing exists. It didn't have to exist, but it's cool that it does. And like I said, it advertised for the Sinnoh game, so that's why I like it a lot too. One of the things that I really love Munchlax for was just the utter shock of it. Because I didn't know, I mean, okay, I'm a dumb kid. I was a dumb kid back in the day. But when I watched Destiny Deoxys when it aired on 4Kids for the first time, back in the day, I saw Munchlax, and I was like, whoa, that thing's adorable. You know, like I said, really cute, really awesome, really adorable. Eating everything in sight. For some reason, my little dumb kid brain could not connect that Munchlax was related to Snorlax. But when I saw that thing evolve into Snorlax at the end of the movie, spoilers, by the way, I mean, I don't really know if that's a spoiler, but yeah, it evolves into Snorlax, and yeah, it evolved into Snorlax, and I was just completely dumbfounded. I'm like, what? That thing's a pre-evolution to Snorlax? You know, like, that was just so absurd, because that didn't happen back then, really. I mean, it did, but it didn't. Like, just seeing a new baby Pokemon that evolved into a Pokemon, like a very beloved original Pokemon, it just blew my mind. Just that whole plot twist for me is also a reason why I really love Munchlax. Also, fun fact too, I used a Munchlax in a Mystery Dungeon. I actually made myself into a Munchlax when I played the Explorers games, but I kind of just retconned that and I just kind of played as Riolu from then on, because in Explorers of Sky you get to play as Riolu, and yeah, Riolu's way better, you know, and a lot more awesome. But Munchlax is still has a soft spot in my heart. Yeah, definitely one of the best babies too, for sure. Riolu! I love Riolu. And one of the fun things about Riolu, by the way, is in modern day, it gets Prankster, and you can legitimately use it in VGC, and I just think that's so awesome. Riolu, yeah, it has a lot of what I love about Lucario. Like, it's really cute. It's just like a small little Lucario, and it's pretty cool too. It's Riolu. There's not really much else to say. It's just like, because its design is very simple. You just look at it, it's like, oh, that thing's cute, and that's it. Like, that's pretty much all there is to it, you know? I will say, it is kind of shocking, because Lucario was a Pokemon... Wait, did I say Lucario advertised for Gen 4? Because it definitely did. But Lucario... I thought, like, Lucario wouldn't even have a pre-evolution. But when I got it, I was like, oh! This thing becomes Lucario. Oh, that's cool. You know, I legitimately did not know that Riolu was even going to be a thing. I thought Lucario, when Diamond and Pearl came out, was just going to be Lucario. So, Riolu was just kind of a nice shock. Oh, but okay. Oh, man. Here we go. Gotta talk about this behemoth. The legendary, the one and only, Lucario. Yeah. Oh man, where do I even start? So, yeah, this thing was used to advertise Generation 4, and it was just completely awesome. Lucario, God, there's so much to talk about. Lucario's design is awesome. He looks so cool. He has a cool type. Fighting Steel, of all things. He is ridiculously good in competitive. He is really, really strong. His design, he was designed to be kind of a second mascot of the series, because you could get Lucario in a lot of Pokemon games after this. Yeah, he was designed to be kind of just a second mascot. Like, he kind of feels like the older kids' Pikachu. Like, you know, Pikachu's like for, you know, like the ones who are in it for the cuteness, though. And the ones who are in it for the cool Pokemon, they like Lucario, you know? So that's how I always viewed it. I always viewed Lucario as like the secondary mascot of Pokemon. You know, it's iconic, it has a cool name, and everything, you know? It's in Super Smash Bros. Too. And keep in mind, when Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out, Pokemon in the game weren't really just kind of added just for the sake of adding? Okay, wait. I cannot make that claim, because I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, wait, Pichu and Jigglypuff. But the thing is, like, you know, we had Mewtwo. But then, all of a sudden, Mewtwo got kicked out of Super Smash Bros. Brawl and replaced with Lucario. So, automatically, people were like, whoa! Who are you? You just bumped out Mewtwo. How dare you? And Lucario's like, no, I'm Lucario, bro. I'm better than Mewtwo. It's like, oh, geez, you know? So that definitely added a mythos to it, too. In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it was voiced by Sean Schemmel, who voiced Goku. It's just like, come on. So there's already that side to it. And it was completely awesome. And then there's also, oh my god, there's Mega Lucario, too, who made him even more strong. It's just, Lucario is just everything. He's an all-rounding Pokemon. Like, do you want a Pokemon that's cool? Lucario. Do you want a Pokemon that does well in battles? Lucario. Do you want a Pokemon in Super Smash Bros.? Lucario. There's just, yeah, there's a reason they advertise the heck out of this thing. It is just, it's cool. And one of my favorite things about Lucario, too, is it never really lost the spotlight. Now, it's not as good nowadays, especially since Mega Lucario is not a thing anymore, which is really sad. It never really lost the spotlight. And power creep is a thing in Pokemon now. Like, absolutely. Like, a lot of Pokemon are not good now simply because a lot of other ones exist now. I mean, geez, this franchise has been going on for, like, what, like 25 years, I think? And Lucario is a Pokemon from 2006. And it is still a solid Pokemon to have on your team. Like, that's really cool. So yeah, that's enough Lucario. Just know, really good Pokemon. Really, really good one. And it's actually obtainable in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Just have to do the Iron Island quest. Oh god, I forgot about Riley. Oh dang, one of the coolest Pokemon trainer designs is just based on Lucario's. Okay, that's enough Lucario. I would just be here all day talking about that thing. We're moving on. Wow, that's funny. Going from Lucario to Hippopotas. I have a weird relationship with these two. I do like Hippopotas more than Hippowdon, but I don't really like Hippowdon that much. I don't know. I think Hippopotas is a cute design. I like that it's a ground hippo. That's cool. But not really much else. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, it's not this one. The next, Hippowdon has the male versus female designs, which, okay, I guess we'll move on to Hippowdon. Yeah, the male Hippowdon and the female one, they have different designs, like, just their coloring. Like, it kind of looks like shiny variants of each other, which is really, really cool, admittedly. Oh, dang it. There is a part of Hippowdon I do like. Now I'm remembering. Actually, yeah, I think I do like Hippowdon more. And that's not because of the modern age. Hippowdon got screwed in the modern age because it looks so boring now. But back in the day, it had a really cool sprite in Diamond and Pearl where you could see sand coming out of, like, the holes on its side, and it would be, like, buried in sand. It had Sand Stream, which is an ability that brings the sand whenever it gets called out into battle. That's an ability that wasn't just tossed around back then. In fact, is that still a unique ability? Like, I know Tyranitar has it, but not a lot of Pokemon have a Sand Stream. It's a really good ability. Okay, so Tyranitar has Sand Stream, like I said. And Hippowdon has Sandstream and Gigalith from Black and White. And that's it. Yep, those are the only Pokemon that have Sandstream. So that's a good ability. Like, it's really good, especially when paired with Pokemon that have, like, Sandveil or Sandforce that require the Sandstorm to be set up. So you already have a really good Pokemon as it is. And it's also pretty strong in its own right. So, yeah. I don't know what I was saying. Like, I actually do like Hippowdon. Something about it, like, I completely forgot what it can do, and I forgot how it looked. And like I said, in 3D, it looks awful. I think it looks absolutely awful in 3D, but back then, that thing was legit. Yeah, wow, I just completely forgot how cool Hippowdon was. So, sorry about that, Hippowdon. Don't beat me up, because hippos are surprisingly vicious, so... Yay, the Scorpions! I really like these two. Okay, Skorupi. Actually, yeah, don't get on me with, like, the pronunciation, because I don't really know how this thing's supposed to be pronounced. It's like Skorupi versus Skorupi. I always called it Skorupi. Yeah, Skorupi is adorable. Look at that thing. It's a cute little bug. Has cute little goggle eyes. Like, come on, man. That's adorable. Poison bug type, but it's going to become even more interesting in a bit. Yeah, you see it. You get it. It's great. I like Skorupi. Drapion, or whatever. Drapes. Drapion is really cool. Poison Dark. I know that's the same as Skuntank, but no, Drapion's cooler than Skuntank in my opinion. It's a giant scorpion dude with cool eyes, cool design, cool abilities like Cross Poison, or cool moves, sorry, not cool abilities. Yeah, Drapion's so cool. Super duper cool. Has a cool cry. Yeah, and I don't even really like bugs in real life, so it's kind of jarring to me that I like the big, giant scorpion dude. But Drapion is so cool. He is so cool, bruh. Krogunk! Oh, Krogunk! Better than Toxicroak, I think. Yeah, like, there's so much with Krogunk. Like, its design is just so much fun as it is. Like, it's a frog, but, like, it's just this weird frog that, like, stands up on its hind legs. And its walk cycle nowadays is amazing, too. Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. Brock has a Krogunk too, which, in my opinion, other than Onix, is probably the one Pokemon that I think of when I have to think about Brock. Oh, what Pokemon does Brock have? He has a Onix and a Krogunk, you know? And then I'll be like, Geodude, Mudkip, you know? But, yeah, and honestly, probably the best gag too. Because, you know, the whole thing with Brock is like, oh, he likes girls, you know? And then when he, like, torments them or whatever, Croagunk would always come in and use Poison Jab and just wham into, like, Brock's gut, you know, and then carry him off, too. It's not even the fact that he just hit him. He has to carry him off. So, I always love seeing Croagunk do that. Croagunk is also in the Explorers games, and he's like this creepy, like, salesman dude who's, like, in the guild, and he's just in his little corner just like, hey, do you guys want some stuff? He's just so much fun. Honestly, this is gonna sound weird, but Croagunk kind of has the feel. He gives me, like, the same feel that Sans does from Undertale. I don't know, just something about Croagunk. He just screams Sans to me. Like, just pretty chill, pretty cool in his own way. Kind of awkward looking, but he totally owns it. Some people out there are gonna be like, what? Why do you think of Croagunk as Sans? But I don't know, he just gives me that same feel. And then we get to Toxicroak. And to be honest, Toxicroak is not a bad evolution. It's not. But, yeah, it's just not Croagunk. You know, it just feels like it's just kind of there. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Toxicroak. It's just not as cool as Croagunk. Yeah, not really much else to say. Carnivine, this thing is forgettable. Man. And it's sad, too, because a Venus Flytrap Pokemon should be really awesome, but I don't know. It just started the trend of just really forgettable cactus kind of Pokemon. Because I know Carnivine is not a cactus, but I kind of rope it in with Maractus from Black and White to be just like, oh, it's that grass Pokemon that no one's going to use. You know what I mean? At least with Cacnea and Cacturne. I mean, well, one, I love Cacnea, you know. To no one's surprised, the Pokemon that is in all my videos, I like it too. But at least Cacturne had Grass Dark, so there was something cool to it. Not to mention it looks like a big, like, creepy scarecrow. But Carnivine's just kind of a floating Venus Flytrap, and it's not even that good, and it doesn't even have that cool of a typing, so I don't know, forgettable to me. Finian and Luminian. Okay, Finian, forgettable little fish. No one cares. I don't care. I mean, no, I don't know if I can defend it. It's just kind of there. It looks like just a generic little goldfish. Luminian. So, Luminian's also in the same boat, but at least with Luminian, it has a really, like, beautiful cry. And I have seen Luminian, like, depicted in really, like, beautiful ways. Like, it makes me appreciate fish, oddly enough. Like, I look at it and I'm like, that's a pretty fish. Other than that, though, that's it. Luminian's just kind of forgettable as well. Yeah. Mantike. Oh, I always forget this thing exists. I like Mantike. I just wish Mantike existed from the beginning. Now, I will say, it's kind of hilarious because you could definitely tell the gap in design with these. Like, you can with a lot of the Sinnoh evolutions for sure, or baby Pokemon. But something about Mantike, like, if you look at it, it's just like, I'm Mantike, I'm so cute and adorable, and I feel like Sinnoh and Magical Girl anime, like I said. But then Mantine doesn't really carry that at all. Like, Mantine's just like, I'm just Johto Pokemon. I'm just here. You know? Like, it feels like a completely different style from Mantine. But I don't know. Mantike's weird because it's not even an early game Mantine. You get it pretty late into the game. And even then, Mantine's not really that good in general. So, Mantike just kind of feels random. And it's kind of sad because I do like it. But, you know, it's not that good. And Mantine's not even that good. So, who cares? Whoa, we're almost done. Wow. Okay. I see the end of the list down there. Oh. No, there's more. It's not counting the Platinum decks. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, whoa, we're almost done? Wow. Okay, here we go. Snover, little Snover. I think Snover's pretty cute. Yeah, he has a fun little small design. Little chibi dude. Yeah, I like him. I really love the colors on Snover. I love the green and the white and the brown because they clash with each other so much. But it really does give the feel that this is like an ice tree, you know? It's a grass ice type, which is from what I remember, it's the only grass ice type, right? In Abomasnow. I think they're unique. I don't think there are any other Pokemon like that. So when I first saw these Pokemon, when I was playing Pokemon Pearl back in the day, I was like, oh my god, I gotta have one. So I did catch a Snover, and I did use it. So that's cool to me, having the unique typing. And it's just a cool looking Pokemon altogether. Abomasnow looks really cool. I really like Abomasnow. And Yeah, it's pretty much just Snover. Yeah. They're interchangeable for me. I like them both equally. The one thing that sucks about Abomasnow is I wish it was better. And Mega Abomasnow wasn't even that much better than Abomasnow either, which is really sad. But dang, I wish this thing was better, because this thing is so cool. I love that it's just kind of a big Yeti, you know? A big tree Yeti. That's why I like Pokemon that have ideas behind them. Because the thing is, Beartic from Black and White kind of has the same energy as Abomasnow right here. But the thing is, Beartic is just a polar bear. At least Abomasnow looks like a Yeti, but it also, it's also a big tree, you know? There's multiple things going on. You can't just say, okay, this thing's a polar bear and call it a day, you know? So yeah, Abomasnow checks that off for me. Man, I do still wish the Mega existed, though. I mean, I wish the Mega still existed in general, but man, just even the slightest excuse to use Abomasnow would be really fun. Man, whenever I say Abomasnow, I always say Obamasnow. The President Obamasnow. Weavile. Actually, I think it is Weavile. Yep. Probably the best evolution in this game? Probably? Maybe? Oh, I'm debating. Okay, well, let's just talk why I think Weavile is the best evolution added / one of the best evolutions added to the game. One, it works off of what Sneasel was doing. It doesn't look different from Sneasel in the slightest. If you could have legitimately pawned this off as a gold and silver evolution, and I would have not looked at it differently. Two, it fulfills what Sneasel was trying to do. It looks like a perfect escalation of Sneasel. It looks cool in its own right, but you could see what was started with Sneasel, the little feather and stuff. And oh my god, it just looks so cool. Dark Ice, it fixed Sneasel. And yeah, it just looks great in its own right. Has a really cool shiny too, where it's just pink and yellow. That's really cool. A lot of Pokemon can't rock pink, but Weavile completely does it for me. Yeah, nothing really else to say about Weavile. It's just really cool. Is it the best thing ever? No. But it's ridiculously fast. Yeah, Weavile is a really, really cool Pokemon, and there's a reason they had to advertise for Sinnoh. So, it just hits all the marks for me. It hits all the marks for me of, why I like it when Pokemon evolve that haven't previously evolved. Because then you could make Pokemon like Weavile, where it's yeah, you're the missing link. You made Sneasel better, you look like Sneasel, but you look like an evolution of Sneasel, and you're not a jarring design, you know? You don't look like you just came into the franchise 20 years after the fact, and it's what? You don't look like... Sorry, I'm trying to think of a Pokemon that looks completely different. You don't look like Mantike, you know? Uxie. Oh, these guys, okay. I don't really like Uxie. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I've never really liked Uxie. Mesprit, of the three, I do like Mesprit the most, but I think it's literally just because it's kind of superimposed to be the one that likes you in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. It's the one that's just hey, you're my buddy. And I kind of just, for me, Mesprit kind of feels like the extroverted person who's just hey, you're gonna be my new best friend, alright? It's okay. You know, you just adopted me into it, so... That's how Mesprit feels for me, because if Mesprit would just kind of existed and didn't have that storyline element, it would just be forgettable. I don't really care about Mesprit, but just the fact that, it cared enough to say hi to me, now I like it. Azelf. Azelf is just interchangeable with Mesprit for me. If it was the one who said hi to me in the story, then I probably would have liked Azelf, but Azelf is just forgettable. I don't know, I just don't like the lake beings. They just feel like such unnecessary... legendaries, because I mean, though apparently Azelf is actually pretty good, but there are 3 psychic types, and they just kind of exist, and it's just do you guys need to exist? You know? I don't know. Dialga. Ooh, Dialga. Alright, so it's time to talk about these guys. You know, I had this thought in my head, and this is going to be the most random thing you've heard, but when people think of the names of the games, are they supposed to work with how the legendaries are also paired? Okay, so example. Gold and Silver, Ho-Oh and Lugia, right? When you say Ho-Oh and Lugia, you don't say Lugia and Ho-Oh, you say Ho-Oh and Lugia, right? Ruby and Sapphire, you say Groudon and Kyogre. You don't say Kyogre and Groudon, right? Diamond and Pearl, Palkia and Dialga. But black and white, does anyone say Zekrom and Reshiram? Or Reshiram and Zekrom? I always thought it was Reshiram and Zekrom. But then that would be Pokemon White and Black. How's that work, right? And then it returns to it because X and Y is Xerneas and Yveltal. And then Sun and Moon are Solgaleo and Lunala. And then Sword and Shield are Zacian and Zamazenta. But for whatever reason, I feel like black and white, people say Reshiram and Zekrom, not Zekrom and Reshiram. Give your opinions on that. Okay, so I went completely off topic. Dialga. Okay, because the reason I thought about this in my head was that I wanted to say, I wish I could talk about Palkia first, because I have a lot less to say about Palkia than Dialga. But Palkia comes second, so I can't do that. Anyway, Dialga. So back in the day, I liked Palkia more, but I will just say, I think it was just because, like, all my friends were getting Diamond version, so I'm just like, well, I want to get Pearl, you know? I like Palkia. I don't like Palkia. Like, I really don't. Dialga is way better than Palkia, in my opinion. If you like Palkia, cool. I will say, Palkia got the better looking signature move in modern day. Spatial Rend looks way cooler than Roar of Time. Back in the day, Roar of Time looked a lot cooler, but like nowadays, Spatial Rend looks way cooler than Roar of Time. But yeah, Dialga just looks so cool. Dragon Steel, come on, that's absurd. That's such a cool type. Yeah, it looks great. Like its whole crown thing it has on its head. It's blue. There's also the cool appeal of it because it's the main antagonist of Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky with a Primal Dialga. So, yeah, there's just like a whole thing there with it. It's so funny because Palkia is in the game, but it's not as a main antagonist, but Dialga's the main antagonist, you know? I mean, they tried to make Palkia into a bit of an antagonist in like the post-game, but it's just like, no. Yeah, no. The main conflict was Dialga. You kind of got screwed on this Palkia. Yeah, Dialga is just really rad. Palkia. Yeah, Palkia is just a lamer Dialga. I don't really like it. I used to like it more. I think I was just trying to convince myself that I liked it or something, but I just don't like this thing that much. And to be fair, you could fix Palkia. You can. You could fix him. Now, I feel like if this happened, I still wouldn't like him as much as Dialga, but this would be a start. Get rid of that water typing. He is a water dragon. Dialga is a steel dragon, you know, which back then was unique. I think it's... Oh, no. There's steel dragons nowadays. Water dragon! Per Palkia! And whenever I bring this up, there's always people being like, oh no, water dragon makes sense. No, shut up! It's stupid! It's a stupid type! When I saw Palkia and I caught it, I'm like, wait, why is this thing water dragon? Like, I was legitimately confused. I'm like, what? It's not, what? You know? Not only was it not a unique typing back then, because Kingdra had it, it's just like water dragon. Why? Why is it a water dragon? The thing is, you could fix it. Make Palkia a psychic dragon. Psychic dragon. I believe Psychic Dragon is still a unique type to this day. I don't think there are any dragons or psychics that have Psychic Dragon. That would have gave it a unique typing. That would have gave it a typing that made sense. Why on earth they didn't make it Psychic Dragon is beyond me. I don't even know why it's a water dragon, you know? I don't even get it. I put surf on this thing, and I surfed on it, and I don't understand why. I'm just like, why can I surf on my Palkia? It just, oh my god, Palkia, I don't know why, this thing, I don't like it as much as Dialga. Now, to be fair, I don't think Palkia sucks. I think Palkia is still cool. It's just weird to me. It's just weird, and it's so funny, because I played Pokemon Pearl back in the day, but I jumped ship hard to Diamond. I played Brilliant Diamond, and I did not look back. The one thing Pokemon Pearl is good for is to get Bonsly. Manaphy! Yay! I like Manaphy. Wait, is Fion on this list? I hope so. Yeah, Fion has to be on this list. Manaphy was always adorable. The thing is, if it was just by itself, though, I feel like it would be kind of forgettable, admittedly, but I do like its whole, like, Prince of the Sea feel to it. It's just a very subtle Pokemon, and I actually really like that. I used one back in the day, but not too much. It was kind of just an endgame Pokemon. Like, I'm like, alright, I beat the game. I want to, like, raise up, like, a really strong Manaphy. And I really like its, like, exclusive moves and stuff. I think that's a lot of fun, especially, like, the whole heart swap thing. Like, it has a really cool kit to it, you know? Really memorable. in that regard. If it was just by itself, like it's just a forgettable event Pokemon, you know, that you just kind of got as a distribution, then, you know, it would be kind of boring. And also there's the weird thing with Manaphy where if you can breed, you can make it breed and get Fiones, which is random, but we'll talk about that when we get to Fione. It's a major plot point in Mystery Dungeon, which is something I love, you know. Honestly, if it's involved in Mystery Dungeon the slightest, that kind of raises it like 5 points for me, you know? Like, that just raises, like, the effect of me liking it. Actually, points makes no sense. Probably, like, it probably gets, like, a 30-40% buff if it's in a Mystery Dungeon game as, like, an NPC. And one of the things, too, with it, but to be fair, I guess this is just Sinnoh in a nutshell, but the event involving it is actually pretty cool. Because back then they actually cared about the events and weren't just like, here, have Zarude. Well, the thing is, the only way you could get a Manaphy back then was you had to get Pokemon Ranger, which I still haven't played, by the way. Maybe one day I'll play it. You had to play Pokemon Ranger, and you had to get the Manaphy egg. And then you could transfer the Manaphy egg to Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, and then hatch it. So that's really cool. And it created this cool kind of thing with it where, you know, it's a different kind of event. You never really get event mythicals by hatching them. So that just kind of makes Manaphy really unique, in my opinion. Also, its egg design looks really cool. It's funny because for my first playthrough of Brilliant Diamond, I hatched the Manaphy, and then for the second playthrough, I already had the Manaphy. You know, I traded it to myself. So I got the event egg, and I just kept it as the egg. Because the egg is so pretty looking that it's literally just sitting in my box right now, just being an egg. But I just go and look at it, like I'm like, oh, that's a cool egg. So yeah, that's kind of all there is to say about Manaphy. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Rotom. I think Rotom fits for me because it reminds me of like modem, like internet modem. I don't know. Even though I know Rotom, I think that's the way to say it. I like Rotom. There's a lot to say about Rotom because it has had so much happen to it. But back in the day, it was a very unique Pokemon. Very unique in Diamond and Pearl. Because, one, it's an electric ghost type, which is a unique typing. I want to say it's still a unique typing. I'm pretty sure. But back then, it was definitely a unique typing. And you could find it in the Eterna Mansion. And we didn't know if it was a legendary Pokemon or not. We really did not know it. Because when you fought it, it played the legendary Pokemon music for whatever reason. And yeah, it was weird. It was just so weird. And it was level 15 of all things. So we just didn't know what the heck Rotom was. And to be fair, Rotom just wasn't really that good back then. Before Platinum came along. It just wasn't really that good. But we still liked it. We were like, is this thing a legendary? You could breed it? Like, what is it? You know? Like, it was so confusing. But then Platinum rolled around and decided to give Rotom forms. And this was the beginning of a new age for Rotom. Because now it's canon that Rotom can just jump into any electrical thing, including phones and Pokedexes. Well, we'll get to that. It can jump into other appliances and take on the form and get moves based on that. And you have, yeah, I'll probably just throw them up. You have a choice between an oven, a refrigerator, a fan, a lawnmower, and a washing machine. And just seeing Rotom wash on screen is just filling me with dread. I mean, obviously I don't see it on screen. I still just kind of see it in front of me on my phone here. But anyway, yeah, this was kind of the beginning of a new age for Rotom. Because you can get appliance forms for Rotom, and it made it way better and gave it some really cool moves. Now, these Pokemon back then were electric ghosts, and it wasn't until Black and White that they got typings, and they are really, really good. So, yeah, especially Rotom Wash, who is like one of the best Pokemon in competitive. So it's really funny just seeing Rotom become this really, not forgettable, but just kind of weak Pokemon. And just turning into Rotom. Like, everyone knows Rotom now. So, that's cool. Unfortunately, we have to talk about another part of it, though. Because this thing is one of the worst things ever. Sun and Moon made it the Rotom Dex. And oh my god, I love Sun and Moon. But wow, that thing is awful, and it kind of brings down the game for me. It is so annoying all the time. and it's constantly giving you prompts and tips, and it's like, Rotom, I'm almost 27 years old. Please, I don't need tips for how to play Pokemon, and stop telling me what to do. You're a Pokemon. You're a Pokemon. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a Pokemon trainer. And also, you speak English. You're a Pokemon that speaks English, and everyone's just kind of not making a big deal out of it, you know? And I mean, I know they did that with Meowth in the anime, but this is a big thing, you know? Anyway, yeah, the usage of Rotom now, I do like it, but WoW, like Sun and Moon, kind of ruined Rotom for me for a while, but I still really, really like Rotom. I will say it is cool to see an older Pokemon build more and more relevance over the years. Like, that's cool. Like, I always love seeing that, you know, like a Pokemon from like 2006 just growing and growing in popularity, and it's more relevant nowadays than it was ever back then. So yeah, I really like that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I do really like Rotom. So thank you, Rotom, for all you did, and yeah, keep on keeping on. I kind of hope you don't get any more relevant, though, because I really don't want to see you again. I mean, I like you as Pokedexes and stuff, but please don't talk to me. Please. Ooh, we're getting to the evolutions, a lot of them. Alright, Gliscor. Gliscor is awesome. I don't think it fulfills the same design standpoint of Weavile, where Weavile looks like a perfect continuation of Sneasel, but Gliscor is still really, really dang cool. Looks awesome, got a great design. It's really, really good in competitive. Yeah, Gliscor is just the whole package. Yeah, and fixes Gligar. Yeah, Gliscor is amazing. I wish it was easier to get in Brilliant Diamond, but you need like a Razor Claw after you beat the game, and it's so stupid. But yeah, Gliscor. Yeah, has Poison Heal. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. There's a lot of people who really like Gliscor, too, as, like, one of their favorite Pokemon. It's not one of my favorite Pokemon, but it's definitely rad. Definitely one of the coolest, like, bat-looking things in the series. But then again, I guess the only other bats are... Oh, okay, not Lunala, duh. Yeah, there's Zubat and Woobat. Probopass. Okay, here we go. Probopass was my second lesson in not taking a tank Pokemon and playing with it in the main game, because, oh my god, Probopass is so weak on the attacking side, and it's kind of boring. I think I really liked Probopass back in the day because it's so stupid looking that you just kind of have to love it. Nowadays, I kind of don't care about it. I don't know. I think I do like Nosepass way more, because I just think Nosepass is way more subtle than Probopass, you know? Like, cool Easter Island head thing going on, and then Probopass just kind of comes in like, what the heck are you? You look so stupid. You have a mustache and just, oh my god, there's so much wrong with Probopass. The number one thing that's wrong with this thing, though, is it's a rock steel type. And I don't know if Game Freak just after a while was just like, well, we have to make types that make sense. But they have a Alolan Golem now, and it's rock electric, and I feel like I would like Probopass a lot more is if back then they were just like, hey, let's make Probopass rock electric so it's a unique electric type, at least. Because this thing, by the way, you know, and I learned this through Nosepass, it can learn a lot of electric moves because it has this kind of magnet theme going on with it. So if they made it rock electric, I probably like it a lot more, but it's rock steel, and it's just like, what? What about you has become steel? Oh, actually, I forgot. I think the Pokedex confirms what has become steel. Because the mustache apparently is like metal shavings. So, that makes it a steel type. Oh, Probopass, you are so strange. I don't hate Probopass. I don't even think I dislike it. It's just weird to me now, you know? I used to like it. I don't really like it that much anymore, though. Gallade! Yay! Another one of those evolutions that just fits the line like a glove. I mean, the Ralts family in general was a very popular pick in Hoenn. I mean, Gardevoir is a very, very popular Pokemon. And it was just cool that we were able to get a male variant of Kirlia, you know? Evolve Kirlia into, like, a male version of Gardevoir, essentially, and it's Gallade. And that being said, it's actually really funny, though, because male Kirlia can evolve into Gardevoir still, but I don't know. I think everyone just kind of headcanons like, oh, no. Gardevoir's the female, Gallade's the male. So, yeah. Gallade. You know, there is actually a lot to say about Gallade, because this thing's one of my favorite Pokemon, and it was a Pokemon that I used for years as, like, my signature, because when Platinum rolled around, I never used Gallade before, because in Diamond and Pearl, it was National Dex, which is the stupidest thing ever, and they decided to bring that back for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Great! That's amazing. Thanks for doing that. So in Platinum, all the Pokemon that could evolve exclusively, like in Sinnoh and stuff, that were introduced, you can get them in the base game now. Because it was stupid that you couldn't do that before. And I decided, hey, I'm gonna raise a Ralts and try out Gallade for the first time. And I was shocked by how awesome this thing was. It had like the cool blade arms, it has Psycho Cut, which is really cool. It looked great back then. I want to say it still looks great, but like in Battle Revolution specific, Gallade looks so cool using Psycho Cut. It has close combat. It just has a lot. There's just so much going for Gallade, and I used this thing forever. It felt like, maybe not as much as I'd like to think, but like it felt like I used it forever, because I used it in Platinum, and I used it in Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I used it in Black and White. I mean, of course, post game, but like, yeah, I just kept using it and using it and using it, and it was like my signature. I have a signature Gallade called Fatality, and yeah, he's my boy. You know, he was the one I used. I think he's probably the most consistent Pokemon I've used, because it's just like every time I did a playthrough, I had to use him. Black 2, I didn't really use it at all, because, you know, you're playing against a different trainer in Black 2, White 2, so I kind of wanted to spice it up. In Oros, I used a Gallade. That's right, I used Fatality again, especially because he got Mega Gallade, which was awesome, because I felt cheap out, because Gardevoir got a Mega Evolution, but not Gallade. Yeah. So yeah, Gallade is just really, 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 really cool. One of my favorite Pokemon, and yeah, it's funny because it's a fighting psychic type, or sorry, yes, fighting psychic, yes. And I do think that fits, though it's sad because Gardevoir and Ralts and all them got fairy types added. So they got the fairy types, and Gallade just kind of is still a fighting type, which, you know, it makes sense, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know what? I wouldn't mind a stab play rough coming from Gallade, but then again, Gallade as a psychic fairy, I guess, wouldn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't have that same feel, so yeah, Gallade, you're awesome. Always stay awesome, bro. I wish you were faster, but, you know, I guess we all have our faults. Licky. Back in the day, I liked it, but it's kind of the same as Probopass, where I'm like, I kind of realize, I'm like, okay, this thing's just really dumb. I guess the thing that I don't really like about Licky is that there's nothing really to it that you don't get out of Lickitung already. I mean, it's not really even that good, Licky, you know? It's not really even that good, so there's no point of having it. But it doesn't do anything different than Lickitung. It's just like, alright, even just the name. It's like, alright, what are we gonna call it? Licky. It's even less creative than Lickitung. And I can't even really say I like it more or like it less than Lickitung because it's literally just Lickitung. I don't know. I feel like you could have done a lot more with Licky. At least make it stronger. But there's nothing really with it. It's just kind of jarring. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, do I like that it exists? Kinda? I guess I just kind of see it as missed potential. Because it kind of feels like... It feels like... I don't know. Something I would grade C. Like, you get a C for this, you know? Because it's just like, alright, you did the homework. That's it. You know, it didn't impress me. It wasn't bad. It's just kind of there. I don't know. Licky's weird for me. And the thing is, I just feel like it also doesn't have that nostalgia that Lickitung has, because, well, you know, Kanto nostalgia. But, you know, Lickitung was also involved in, like, one of my favorite minigames from Pokemon Stadium. So, I feel like I just kind of like Lickitung more than Licky just for that, but they're both just kind of interchangeable, honestly. Oh, yay, we're here. Yay. Okay, Leafeon, my favorite evolution. Why do I like Leafeon so much? Well, it just feels like Eevee coming from a new age. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like Eevee so much, is because they all feel just so completely different, the evolutions. Because the first three felt very Kanto. It's just like very subtle, like Vaporeon, what? It has some fins and like a mermaid tail. Jolteon just kind of has quills. Flareon, it's poofy. Espeon and Umbreon from Gold and Silver, a little little bit more creative, you know, a little bit more going on. Still subtle, but more creative. You know, Espeon just looks like a really pretty cat, you know, so it's psychic. And then Umbreon has like a cool, like, glowing effect and stuff. And, you know, black as the night, so it's dark. Also has red eyes. But then Leafeon and Glaceon come out, and it's like, okay, these designs feel pretty inspired for the type, you know? At least Leafeon does. Those ears look so cool for Leafeon. They look so, so cool. Like, the whole crinkle leaves, just, man, that's so good looking. It's beautiful. The colors on Leafeon look really good. The eyes look beautiful. The tail looks great. It's just... This is exactly what I want a grass evolution to look like. Exactly what I want it to look like. It is so good looking, and I really love Leafeon. I would totally use it in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl if, well, one, I could get it before post-game. Again, stupid. Or if I didn't use Leafeon before. Now, I wish Leafeon was indeed better. It does have good attack, just nothing to write home about. But, I don't know. I just wish Leafeon was as good as some of the other evolutions. I mean, Umbreon's great, Jolteon's super fast, Sylveon is amazing, so I would kind of like it in that regard. There's also something else. This is kind of a weird critique. Shiny Leafeon. We need to talk about that. So, Shiny Leafeon is pretty much just Leafeon, but saturated. So, the thing is it's a very boring shiny, for sure, for Leafeon. I remember seeing a bunch of custom ones online that give it like fall colors, so it makes the leaves orange, which is amazing. But here's my thing. Shiny Leafeon looks way better than Leafeon, and it saturates all the colors and makes it look really, really good looking. Like, I'm gonna compare it right now. Yeah, it looks really, really, really good. I wish that was just base Leafeon. I don't know why they decided to make that the shiny form. That needs to just be base Leafeon, and then you could make the actual shiny Leafeon into like the fall colors. That would look great. So that's kind of one of the only flaws with Leafeon. But other than that, Leafeon's amazing. My favorite evolution. Yeah, fight me, everyone. Even though I respect all the other evolutions, I think they all look great, especially Sylveon. Oh yeah, I didn't even really make my point about Sylveon. Yeah, you could definitely see the designs over the years, because Sylveon just went completely off the rails. You know, that thing is probably the most extreme-looking evolution, with, like, the bows and just the pink. So it's just funny to see how it escalates. Glaceon. Okay, I mean, I'll admit, I don't think it's as inspired as Leafeon, but you could still see kind of the ice feeling of it. I like... Especially when it moves in the game, it definitely doesn't have a flow to it. Like, everything looks very icy, so that's good, you know. Its hair doesn't really bop around, at least from what I remember. Watch me be completely wrong. I do feel like there could have been a bit more done with Glaceon, but I do still like Glaceon. I love the bangs it kind of has. Like, it just looks like it has bangs, and it's really cute. Yeah, as an Ice-type evolution, it does work. I feel like this thing probably would have existed in Johto, not gonna lie. I wish there was a bit more ice theme with it, but it's still really cool. It's still really, really cool. And it's really adorable, too. Togekiss. Oh, here comes Togekiss. I mean, dang. Okay, competitive-wise. Competitive-wise? I think it's the best evolution, right? Of all the previous generation evolutions, I think it's the best one. I don't know if it was the best one back in Diamond and Pearl. Maybe. But it's the best evolution nowadays. Because not only... oh my god, there's so much to it. I don't even want to talk about the competitive side. Because the competitive side is a nightmare with Serene Grace and its insane moveset. And it got Fairy type? This thing is nuts. This thing is absolutely nuts. So we're just going to stay away from that. Because this thing is really, really, really good. Really good. Now, I don't think it flows as well as Togetic does, you know? Because Togepi and Togetic really do feel like the same, like, they feel natural. But then Togekiss is like, I'm just gonna become a giant airplane. You know, it's like, okay, cool. It's cute, though. It's a really cute design, and I do like it a lot. Oh, man, it just, whenever I see it, it's so funny. Because it's so cute looking, but, man... it will kill you. So I just see it as just like murder, you know? Yeah, Togekiss is a great finale to Togetic. It took a completely forgettable Pokemon well, okay, maybe not forgettable, but just a really bad Pokemon. Togetic was just not that good. And just completely fixed it. Completely. And I love that Togekiss exists. You know, as much as I say, like, oh man, this thing's a nightmare and competitive, I like that these Pokemon exist. I like that they are nightmares and competitive because it's cool taking Pokemon from way back then and making them awesome. You know, I always loved that. I always loved that. That's why I like regional forms so much. Like, yes, make an old Pokemon good. Take a Pokemon that I looked at as a kid, like Farfetch'd, and make them Surfetch'd. Make it so, like, Pokemon that people liked back in the day, like maybe someone's favorite was Togetic. I can't imagine what that was like. It's like, yeah, imagine your favorite being Togetic. And then Diamond and Pearl rolls around and you get Togekiss. Oh man, I can't imagine how cool that must have been. So yeah, Togekiss is awesome. I do like him a lot. And like I said, probably the best evolution in the game on terms of how strong it is. Magnezone. I love Magnezone. I really, really love Magnezone. I love his design. And because, well, the thing is that people are going to say, it's like, wait, this thing looks extremely different from Magneton. I thought you like lines that flow into each other. Usually, yes. Usually. But the thing is that, I mean, to be fair, if you look at its design, you definitely see the Magnemite inspiration, for sure. I love that its little arms are Magnemites. That's really fun. But you could definitely tell this thing was designed, like, way later than Magneton was, you know? But the thing is that I feel like Magnezone is a soft reboot to evolving Magnemite. Because the thing is that, I mean, I love Magnemite. I always have. I really, really like Magnemite. So, when it evolved back then, what does it become? Magneton. Wow, that's boring. I mean, it was even more boring back then, because back then they weren't, like, 100% about, like, you know, making it so the Pokemon had to stick together. You know, that's more of a new thing. Magnemite now have to stick together to become Magneton, you know? You always see them stuck together to be Magneton. But back then in Pokemon Stadium and stuff, they were just 3 Magnemite. They weren't stuck together, so Magneton was even less inspired back then. Nowadays, it's still not that inspired, but at least it's better than back then because it's forced to be stuck together. So the reason why I call it a soft reboot is because it feels like Magnezone, like, you fulfilled the objective of making it 3 Magnemite stuck together, but now it actually looks like a legit new Pokemon, you know? Not only do the Magnemites look like just completely different, you also have the middle one that has that cool UFO design. And this thing just rocks. I mean, look at him. He looks so dang cool. Now, the only thing that does suck about Magnezone is that the shiny design is ruined. Magnemite has this weird kind of thing that Magneton also kind of messed up on, where it's very pale looking and it kind of looks rusted, and then the magnets will become just like black. It looks like very discoloring. It just looks like very discolored and desaturated, but it was kind of a cool look, I'm not gonna lie. And Magneton kind of had that too. From what I remember, it might have messed it up a little bit, but not nearly as much as Magnezone did. And then Magnezone came along and just completely didn't get the memo and just tried its own thing. It reminds me a lot of Torchic, where Torchic, its shiny is inverted colors, and then it just got worse and worse as the line went on. It's just like, what happened to the inverted colors? That would have looked really cool. Blaziken with inverted colors? Come on, you know? But yeah, Magnezone completely missed the memo. So that's really the only flaw with Magnezone, but other than that, Magnezone is awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And, you know, like I said, it does feel like a Pokemon that was designed years later after Magneton and Magnemite, but it's different in this regard, because I feel like it fixed them. I feel like it fixed what they were trying to go for. I would say I would want that done with Dugtrio, but no, because that would... I feel like that would probably be cursed if you evolved Dugtrio any further. I don't know, something about it just doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Tangrowth. This one's weird for me, because, to be fair, Tangela didn't have the best design in general. Like, it was just it was a bunch of, like, vines, but it looked like blue spaghetti, and it was just a ball with sneakers. So, you took that design and just kind of made it thicker, and that's just kind of it? I don't know. It's funny because I can't even really get mad at Tangrowth because I'm just like, Tangela started it. Like, you both are really weird. And to be fair, I don't dislike any of them. I just think they're just weird. So I just look at Tangrowth and I'm like, all right, cool. And apparently Tangrowth is also like, is a lot better than Tangela. Like it's not the best thing ever, but it's a lot better than Tangela. Like it's a legit Pokemon now. So I appreciate Tangrowth for that. But it's just another situation where I'm like, you both are so weird. Why do you two exist? I like you, but you two are so weird. Yanmega! Oh man, Yanmega's so cool. It does feel like a new evolution. It has a lot more going on with it than Yanma does. Yanmega is really, really cool. It fixed Yanma. It took Yanma's awesome ability Speed Boost and actually put it behind a Pokemon that is really good. It has Air Slash and Bug Buzz. The thing is with Yanmega, just to pull back the curtain a little bit, this thing is pretty much like the second Gallade for me. Because in Black 2, White 2, I decided I wanted to try Yanmega out. And oh my god, it was amazing. Speed Boost with Bug Buzz and Air Slash. Oh my god, Detect. Oh, so good. I also gave it like Hidden Power back then, and it was like perfect. And one of my favorite things with the Yanmega was like no one was ever ready for it because no one ever played it. And I think it was like RU or UU back then, which is Smogon, sorry. Smogon is essentially like the unofficial Pokemon tiering, essentially. And to explain, RU and UU are kind of like not as good Pokemon. They're okay, but they're not as good as like, you know, Pokemon like Garchomp and stuff like that. But I always played Yanmega, and no one was ready for it, and it would always own because its special attack was so good. And it had Life Orb. Oh man, Yanmega, so many memories. I used Yanmega. Yeah, it was like the second Gallade. I used it for X and Y. Oh yeah, Black 2, White 2, X and Y, Sun and Moon. Yeah, and I think that's kind of when it ended. I think I also used it for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but that was for a later playthrough. Yeah, it was pretty much like the second Gallade for me. So, yeah, Yanmega's so cool. Super duper duper cool. Rhyperior. I have weird opinions on Rhyperior, because I don't know how I feel about this thing. Because I feel like Rhydon is a complete design. Like, I look at Rhydon and I'm like, alright, you're done. You're just Rhydon. Not to mention Rhydon's also like, I believe it's the first Pokemon ever created. Like, on terms of design, like they drew it out and stuff. So that's kind of has its own appeal to it. But Rhyperior just kind of comes in, and it's just like, it kind of feels like you added on to Rhydon in a artificial way, which isn't bad, because I feel like that's how a lot of Mega Evolutions go, where they took complete designs and then just kind of added more on top of it, like artificially adding more. But the reason that works for Mega Evolutions is because it's temporary, and that's the whole point of Mega Evolutions. It is a Mega Evolution. It's supposed to look bombastic and crazy, but Rhyperior doesn't really look like a natural evolution of Rhydon. It just kind of looks like you slapped armor on it. And the thing is I do like Rhyperior, but I just sort of wish that Rhyperior just kind of was just Rhydon. I prefer Rhydon's design over Rhyperior. Like, just give Rhydon Rhyperior stats, and I would have just preferred that. It's kind of one of the only Pokemon from this game where I feel like you could have just removed it, and I don't think anyone would have cared. I mean, I'm sure Rhyperior has his fans, for sure, but I feel like anyone who likes Rhyperior probably prefers Rhydon. I don't know. Yeah, Rhyperior is kind of like one of the only evolutions in this game that I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you needed to exist, really. You're a better Rhydon, so that's cool, but I kind of just wish this was just Rhydon. Dusknoir. Oh, this is a sad, sad, sad Pokemon. It is a really bad Pokemon. And the funny thing is, too, is that I feel like people who don't know Dusknoir kind of look at it, it's like, whoa, that thing. It's like, no. It's not that good. Don't get excited. Its pre-evolution Dusclops is better than it. And that is embarrassing. Because if you look at Dusknoir, you look at it, you're like, whoa, you know, kind of just like, this thing looks awesome. And what I like about it, too, is it does flow very well from Duskull. You know, Duskull evolves into Dusclops, and Dusclops kind of looks like he has his own thing going, too. And then Dusknoir also looks like he has his own thing going, but it was set by Dusclops. So, they flow very well together. The thing is with Dusknoir is, I tried using one for Pokemon Platinum, and did I use it the whole game? maybe, but this thing is bad. Its attack sucks. It's not even that good defense-wise, which is embarrassing because its stats are supposed to make it like a defensive pivot, but it just sucks. Like, it sucks in so many ways, so that definitely brings it down for me. But what raises it back up is it's an antagonist from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, so that kind of adds a bit of flair to it for me. I have such a weird relationship with this Pokemon because I love it, but man, I wish it was better. So, it's a weird spot. I love that it exists. I love it on terms of its design. But I see it and I get sad, if that makes sense. I just look at it and I just feel so sad for it. Like, I just want to give it a big hug. I'm like, hey, you deserved better. Like, you're an awesome design, and you deserved better. You literally, the point of Dusk Noir existing now is just so Dusclops can be viable, and that's so sad. It kind of feels like the meme with, what's it called? Rigby from Regular Show, where he's just like, I'm the older brother, you know? Like, that's how it feels. Like, everyone loves Dusclops, but not Noir. Even its name, Dusk Noir, that's so cool. Porygon Z. Okay, how do I feel about Porygon Z? This is also one where I feel like I kind of have to figure out my thoughts on Porygon Z before I kind of make any brash decisions. Okay, now, straight up, do I like that this thing exists? Yes, I do like it. It kind of creates this really cool narrative with Porygon. Because Porygon, when it first came out, Red and Blue, and it was like this rare Pokemon that you can get, it's just like, oh, it's this rare Pokemon, is it good? No. It's not good. And also, it was banned because it gave little kid seizures. So, yeah, that's a whole thing too. But anyway, so they introduced Porygon 2, and just make Porygon better, and they make it a bit of a tank, which is cute. It's a cute little tank. And then they introduce Z, and then Z just goes off the hinges because Porygon kind of canonically gets an upgrade to become Porygon 2 to make it like 3D-esque. And then Porygon 2 gets like a weird like virus disc that makes it Porygon Z. So there's a cool little narrative to that. So ultimately, I love this series. I think these Pokemon are really cool, like when they flow into each other. And it's a story told across generations. Like, that's so neat. So yeah, Porygon Z is really cool. And what I like about Porygon Z, even though I don't like it as much as Dusk Noir, because Porygon Z, I don't like it as much as Porygon 2. So it loses out to Porygon 2 design-wise, in my opinion. But the thing is, it fulfills a completely different role from 2, and 2 is still viable to this day. Now, people play 2 more than Z, but the thing is, Z has an incredible special attack, and it is insane, a stab hyper beam coming from this thing. It's really strong. So that's cool, because it's able to be strong and do its own thing, but the thing is, because it exists, you're able to give an item called the Eviolite to Porygon 2, and Porygon 2 was already kind of a tank. Well, now it could be an even bigger tank because Porygon Z. So what I like is that these two feel like siblings that like actually get along. If you want to use Z, you can use Z. If you want to use 2, you could use 2. So that's why I really like these evolutions, because they feel like they feed into each other like amazingly. And that's why I feel so sad for Dusk Noir, because I feel like Dusk Noir could have had this relationship where, like, maybe it's less of a tank than Dusclops, but maybe it's better at attacking. You know what I mean? So you could have had, like, a choice where it's like, should I go Noir or should I go Dusclops? Because the thing is, that's the thing with 2. And like I said, people play 2 more than Z, but you could still play Z. Z is still good. So that's why I like these 2 a lot. And Porygon Z in specific is awesome. And even though I don't like it as much as 2, I just think 2 is just so adorable. I still like Z a lot. Electivire. This is a weird one for me. I go back and forth on Electivire. So, as its own Pokemon, I actually think Electivire is actually really cool. He's really cool even. As an evolution to Electabuzz, I actually don't really like him that much. And the reason for that being is that Electabuzz was always a Pokemon that I really liked back in the day. And when Elekid was introduced, I really liked Elekid. I think Elekid has a cool thing going on because his head is like a wall outlet. So it's like, wait, is that what it is? Like the plugs, you know? Or is it just a plug? Okay, it looks like a plug. His head looks like a plug, and it's so adorable. That's such a cute design choice, you know? And then Electabuzz, they flow into each other very well, despite Elekid being introduced like a generation later. So I really like those two. And then Electivire comes around, and it's just like, whoa, you look really different from Electabuzz, and I don't know if I like that. And like I said, I like Electivire a lot, but as its own Pokemon. But as an evolution to Electabuzz, I'm not really the biggest fan. So there's a weird feeling there, because I've definitely done it before. I forgot what playthrough I did, where I did a playthrough, and I got an Electabuzz, and Electivire did exist, but I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to stick with Electabuzz and give him the Eviolite so he has better defenses. So I just completely ignored Electivire. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Electivire, which leads perfectly into Magmortar. So Magmortar is kind of the opposite of Electivire, because I think the designs flow between each other excellently. So, okay, let's just paint the picture out. Magmar was introduced in the anime, and I did not know what it was before I saw it in the anime. And for those of you who watched the anime originally, you know the introduction of Magmar. Like, that thing was like, what? You know, because Blaine used it, and it comes out of, like, the lava, and it plays that intense anime music, and you're like, what the heck is that thing? Because it looks so weird, and it has Fire Blast, and it like went up against Charizard. You're like, what the heck is this thing, you know? So that thing was awesome. And then Magby got introduced, and I honestly think Magby is super adorable. I love Magby a lot. Yeah, Magby's super duper adorable. And then Magmortar gets introduced in Diamond and Pearl, and it took what Magmar was trying to do and just dialed it to 11. Like, it looks so cool. And it also has like cannon arms that like shoot fire. I don't know if that's canon. I'm pretty sure it is, because fun fact, one of the only trainer seals, like, you know, the seal capsules where like you put them on the Pokeballs and they have like cool effects. One of the only trainers that use that effect on their Pokeball was the Elite Four member Flint. And when Magmortar was sent out, he has an animation like he's shooting his cannon, and he would shoot it out like it's fire. He had like a fire effect on it. So that automatically was like, whoa, you know? So Magmortar is kind of the opposite of Electivire for me, where I'm like, I love it as an evolution of Magmar. But Electivire, I don't like it as an evolution of Electabuzz. So I hope that is able to convince people that are just like, oh, you're just a nostalgia. You're just a Gen 1er. You know, I'm just like, hey, I like designs when I like designs. And I love Magmortar, so I will just say, missed opportunity, is Magmortar should have been Fire Steel. I remember one of my friends back in the day, in junior high, he came up with like a fake evolution to Magmar, because Diamond and Pearl like just came out, and he didn't know about Magmortar. And he made it like a Fire Steel type. And whenever I see Magmortar, I just think of that design, and I'm just like, yeah, Magmortar should have been Fire Steel, not gonna lie. I guess Game Freak thought it's just like, well, we can't make Magmortar Fire Steel because then Electivire is just gonna look boring by comparison. So I guess I can get the thought, but still, Fire Steel would have been really cool because it's a mortar. Come on, Mamoswine. So my only thing is it doesn't look like it flows very well from Piloswine. Like, it looks okay. Like, you could tell Mamoswine came in years later, but you could also tell it's an evolution to Piloswine. The thing is that I think, I don't know, it's one of those situations where I like it as its own Pokemon. I like it as a big giant mammoth. Like, it looks awesome. Like, as a big giant mammoth Pokemon, super duper cool. As an evolution to Piloswine, it's okay, you know, I don't know. I do like that it's connected, but I don't know. The thing is, though, with Piloswine is that it just kind of felt a bit boring back then. Swinub's adorable, but like Piloswine just felt a bit boring. So Mamoswine does complete that, where it's just like, yeah, now you're awesome. It's kind of a mixture between Magmortar and Electivire for me. But yeah, on terms of just simply putting it, Mamoswine is awesome. And he's a mammoth Pokemon. Come on, man. Frostlass. Okay, I get to talk about this thing. Okay, that sounded really mean. I love Frostlass. I really do. I love Frostlass. But okay. You know what I said about, like, Electabuzz not really looking like Electivire, and they don't really flow that well from each other? What on earth is Frostlass? Like, okay, I'll admit, Snorunt and Glalie are weird. You know, they come from Hoenn. They're weird. Snorunt is a little hat, and apparently doesn't really look like a hat. And then Glalie is a face. It looks like a face, but wow, it looks like a monstrosity. They don't even look like each other. They look like complete monstrosities from each other. Yeah. So then, for this game, they're just like, hey, let's make another one that you can only evolve when Snorunt is female, and it becomes an ice ghost. It's just like, what? And you have to evolve it with a stone. It's like, what? Frostlass feels so random compared to Glalie, I guess. I don't know. Glalie feels random too, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you evolved them naturally back then, whatever. But what the heck is Frostlass? Like, really, what the heck is Frostlass compared to those two? It really is a situation where I wish it just got disconnected from the other two, because it doesn't feel like them at all. Frostlass looks completely different from Glalie and Snorunt. Completely different. I mean, you could argue maybe, like, the eyes look similar. I don't think so. Yeah, I wish it got disconnected from the other two, because it just doesn't flow from them at all. Completely different looking. That being said, Frostlass is awesome on her own. It's a cool Pokemon look. It's a really unique looking ghost type for sure. An Ice Ghost, that is a really cool typing as well. I wish it was better. It's not that good. But I always did have respect for Frostlass. But it's just, it's the thing where it's just like, why are you related to Snorunt? That's so weird. Like, sincerely, I really do wish for the game that Frostlass was just its own encounter and you could just find it somewhere. I mean, you can make the argument, it's like, oh, but then it wouldn't be as good, the stats, or like, it would just be kind of just like a single evolution. Sure, but I don't know, I feel like that would have gave Frostlass more of her own identity, you know? Because I really like Frostlass, it always feels like there's an asterisk next to it. It's just like, remember, this Pokemon is really weird. Whoa, it's missing some. Okay, I might go a little out of order. Yeah, it's missing a few. What on earth? Okay. I'm gonna try to remember all of them because there's a lot of legendaries. Okay. Phione. So, Phione is weird because I do like it. I don't think it's as cute as Manaphy, but there was such a way to fix Phione. Such a way. Because it has this weird spot of being the only Pokemon that can breed from a legendary. So, or a mythical or whatever. So, that alone is like, whoa, okay, what the heck is a Phione then? The thing with Phione is it counts as a mythical / legendary, so it's banned from everything. But the thing is that Phione is not good. It's not even that good in the base game. Like, it's not even that good at all. And the thing is, I feel like if you unban Phione, you would have a Diet Manaphy in every way. You know, its design isn't as cute as Manaphy, its moveset isn't as good as Manaphy, its stats aren't as good, but you would essentially just have a Diet Manaphy. So I think if this game, I think if the games allowed Phione to like battle and stuff, I feel like that would be able to give Phione his own identity. But as of now, it's just like, no, Phione is just banned from everything. And it's just funny because it's just like, this thing is not a legendary. It sucks. So I don't know. Phione is in a weird spot for me. I will say it is a cute attention to detail how it kind of has Ditto eyes. I don't know if I'm just stretching there, but the thing is the only way to get a Phione is to breed Manaphy with a Ditto. So, I don't know. Is that a stretch? Who knows? I do like Phione. I just wish that the games handled it better. Heatran. Yeah, Heatran's cool. I think I liked it a lot more back in the day. But Heatran's pretty cool. There's a weird distinction where you can get multiple genders for Heatran. I don't know why. It was weird because back then I'm like, is this thing even a legendary? Because you can get multiple genders for it. And I honestly thought if I got a female and a male Heatran, I'd be able to breed them. You can't, but they could be different genders. I don't understand why. I don't know. It's in a weird spot for me, for sure. Fire Steel is a really cool typing. Like I said, I wish it was for Magmortar. Yeah, it also has Magma Storm, which, come on, I think objectively that's one of the coolest sounding Pokemon names in the series. Like Pokemon move names. Magma Storm. I mean, come on, that's absurd. Regigigas. I feel so bad for Regigigas. And everyone knows why. It has... Okay, I mean, let's go in order. Okay, so, in Hoenn, they introduced the Regis. They're like these weird golem statue things. And then Gen 4, if you bring the golem statue things, you get Regigigas, which is really cool. That's a really cool story told between generations. Yeah, it's awesome, and I like how there's kind of a lore to Regigigas, how it kind of like made them, you know, and I like how it's normal type, like it's a normal type legendary, which didn't happen back then. I don't even think it's still a thing. Oh, Arceus, duh. Arceus is a normal type. So Regigigas is a really cool Pokemon in theory, and I do like him, like, I really, really do. But wow, just wow, it got screwed. So the whole thing with Regigigas is it has the worst ability in the entire game called Slow Start, and its stats are pretty good, but the thing is that Slow Start cuts it in half, all of his stats in half, all of them. I'm pretty sure it's all of them. I don't know if it's just his attack and defense or something. Pretty sure it's all his stats. It cuts him in half for 5 entire turns, and yes, if you switch out Regigigas and switch him back in, then he has to go through Slow Start again. Why on earth is that a thing? Why is it? Why? Because the thing is, I want to use it, but the thing is, it sucks. I'm just like, what? Why is Regigigas worse than the other ones? That's absurd. That's sad. I don't know. It's like another Dusknoir situation, but somehow even worse because it's a legendary, and it's even worse than Dusknoir somehow. Man, poor Regigigas. Oh man, like I said, it's so cool too. It's such a waste. I am honestly surprised that Game Freak didn't immediately fix it in Black and White, because they could have. That's the worst part, they could have. You guys want to know the way they could do it? I mean, one, they could literally just nerf Slow Start. Make it so it's like a turn or 2 turns. Anything to nerf it, anything. Or you could buff it by saying, oh, after Slow Start, then his stats double. That would have been neat, you know? I mean, it's not like you couldn't double your stats in 5 turns anyway, so it's not like it would be the most broken thing ever. You know, Slow Start, and it's like, once it finishes starting, then it would be unstoppable. I think that would have been a lot of fun. I mean, it's a legendary, so you couldn't bring it to, like, normal formats anyway, so you don't have to worry about it being broken. Or 3, give it a hidden ability. Anything. It could be pickup or something, you know? Anything. It could be any ability. And it would just fix Regigigas. It could be Truant. I mean, Truant is still bad. It ruins Slacking, but at least it would be better than Slow Start. It just, the multiple opportunities that Game Freak had to fix Regigigas is absurd, and I do not know to this day why they didn't. It almost feels like it was like a joke in the office or something. It's like, hey, this Pokemon sucks, and they all just kind of laughed about it. It's like, yeah, we're just never gonna touch Regigigas again. They were laughing at all those Regigigas fans. Giratina. Ooh, here comes Giratina. The only ghost dragon that existed until Sword and Shield gave us Dragapult. And I'm not salty about that. I actually do really like Dragapult, especially because it shoots like little torpedo dragons, and that's like the most adorable thing ever. But Giratina, man. Oh, Giratina was so cool. I want to say of like the Trio Masters, it might be my favorite. I mean, okay, here's my reasoning. So, okay, so Hoenn had Rayquaza, and I do love Rayquaza. I really do. But the whole thing with Rayquaza is it just comes down and screams at Groudon and Kyogre to stop fighting. And I'm not even being like, I'm not even like underplaying that. No, it literally just screams at them to stop. Rayquaza doesn't fight them. It just stops them. So it's kind of like a weird Trio Master. And then Black and White had Kyurem. And I do like Kyurem, but it's a weird one because Kyurem has to fuse with them to become complete. And even then, it's not really complete. You could tell it's like a monstrosity, you know? Necrozma is also kind of weird because it wants to steal Solgaleo and Lunala's light. And then Zygarde is Zygarde. But Giratina, So the thing is with Giratina, it was essentially like Palkia and Dialga, but it was banished to the Distortion World because of its violence by Arceus. So it has this cool sort of like fallen angel vibe to him, and oh my god, like Giratina, man, Ghost Dragon. And you found it in Turnback Cave back in the day, and it just was intimidating. It just had spikes, and you just looked at it, you're like, what is this thing? And okay, sincerely, look at this. The first time you ever see Shadow Force is probably one of the most intimidating moments in the original games. Like, I remember fighting it, and then just like the, and it just disappeared, and there's just no context, you know? You see afterwards it says Giratina vanished instantly, but still, it's like, what? What? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what just happened? Did it leave? No, it was like a new type of fly, because flying moves, it didn't exist that much, you know? There weren't really a lot of moves that did that, where, you know, dig, it barrows underground, or fly, it flies in the air. This was another type of those moves where it would disappear from the battle for a second and then come back to it. But like just seeing it just go, and it's just gone. Oh my god, it's so crazy. And okay, real talk, Shadow Force has never looked as good ever again. It looked amazing in Diamond and Pearl because it got the speed correctly. You know, it felt like Dio's the world, honestly. But like every gen after that, even Black and White, it looked awful. Every gen after that overdid it. They needed to make it just super fast, just like blink of an eye, and it's gone, you know? That would have looked awesome. So Giratina already has just a really cool appeal and mythos to it already. Platinum came along, and yep, Giratina got even cooler. It gave it the origin form, which is like a cool basilisk-looking thing. It just looks so cool. It looked way, in my opinion, it looks way cooler than regular Giratina. It also gave it the Grisius Orb. Come on, the Grisius Orb, even by itself, just sounds really cool. And then it gave Giratina the Distortion World. And this is a point in Giratina's favor. I feel like it's unfair, but like it is its domain, so I feel like you kind of have to add a bit of, you know, add a bit of the appeal from Distortion World into Giratina's overall appeal, because Distortion World is probably, it's top 5 for me. Top 5 moments in Pokemon, or top 5 areas or something. It was one of the coolest things ever. And honest to God, it is the reason why Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl do not carry the same level of weight that Platinum had. It was one of the coolest things on Nintendo DS. And it, oh my god, like sincerely, if you have never experienced Distortion World, you know, I feel bad for you, and the closest you can get to it is looking it up on YouTube. Just watch it. The music, the layout, the feel of it, the Giratina's overall presentation of how it, like, sometimes flies over your head, you know, just, oh my god. Oh man. Giratina, man. They knew how to do a Trio Master, and Giratina just fulfills that. I want to say it's the best Sinnoh Legendary, but I do also like Arceus a lot, so we'll get to that. And yes, I am counting Arceus as a Legendary. It's weird, because I always go to Legendary lists, and it's like, Arceus is a Mythical. I'm like, Arceus is a Legendary. Cresselia. Wow, I forgot how many Legendary Pokemon there are in this game. Cresselia. Honestly, I don't really like Cresselia. I think it's boring. I like its sprites, like how it has a beautiful rainbow effect, but like, it's boring. And it kept coming back. I'm like, what? I don't care about you. It's like a weird bird moon thing. I feel like Lunala fulfills what Cresselia was trying to do a million times better. Cresselia just kind of feels, I don't know. I don't really like it that much. And it's Psychic type. Like, I'm just like, sincerely, do we need another Psychic Legendary? I'm tired of Psychic Legendaries. Darkrai. Pulling back the curtain a little bit on this one. I actually had to go eat real quick, even though we only had a few Pokemon left, because this video took a lot longer, or it's taking a lot longer than I expect. Like, geez, some of these Pokemon are like little mini video essays, and I saw the next one was Darkrai, and I was just like, alright, this is gonna take forever, so I went and ate real quick. Okay, so let's just hop back into it. Darkrai. If you know this Pokemon, It needs no introduction. Oh my god, Darkrai is so dang cool. I want to say the best mythical slash top 3? I don't know. It's, oh my god, where do I even start? Some people, this is like their favorite Pokemon too. Darkrai is so cool. So, we didn't have Dark-type legendaries back then. Darkrai was the first. It was the first Dark-type legendary. I know it's a mythical, but come on, it's just a legendary. Looking at it, what do you think it looks like? Looks like a ghost, right? Nope. It's dark. It's not even dark ghost. It is dark. And just their dedication to making it dark is so cool. Its design rocks. It's a really sick design. Competitively, this thing is a nightmare. And that was no pun intended, but it actually worked out amazingly because you know what this thing does? It gives you nightmares. That is how it damages you. It has a completely unique way of damaging you by giving you nightmares. So, okay, so its signature move is Dark Void, which is banned because it's a sleep move. It puts you to sleep. And sleeping moves are already really good as it is. That's why Spore is considered one of the best competitive moves because it's like a 100% chance to hit. Dark Void isn't 100%. It's still good, but it's not 100%. But the thing is that if you're in a double battle, Dark Void puts both Pokemon to sleep. So automatically that's like, okay, you're banned. And you could say it's like, wait, if Darkrai is a legendary, doesn't that mean it's banned already? Yes, but Dark Void is so good that they were putting it on Smeargle, who can learn every move. And then, yeah, so Dark Void was banned on Smeargle. That's how good it was. And Darkrai gets a move called Nightmare, which isn't exclusive to Darkrai, but feels like it might as well be at this point. And if a Pokemon's asleep, you can put Nightmare on them, and it's kind of like a status condition. They take like damage from Nightmare. On top of Nightmare, Darkrai gets an automatic Nightmare because its ability is called Bad Dreams. So if Pokemon are asleep in the same vicinity as Darkrai, they automatically get damaged. So you could put Nightmare on top of Bad Dreams and just annihilate your opponents. And keep in mind too, Dark Void it's inaccurate, but it isn't the most inaccurate thing ever. And Darkrai is incredibly fast, so even in singles, you could just go sleep, and then all of a sudden they're taking damage from Nightmare and Bad Dreams. So that alone is incredible. I don't believe Darkrai is that ridiculously strong in the attacking side. I think it's good though. I think it's still good. But yeah, it isn't that ridiculous. But still, just it's a very unique style of combat. So that alone makes Darkrai awesome. But its design is just so sick. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's so good looking. Has a great cry too. And one of my favorite things about Darkrai, I mean, it's a mystery dungeon, so here you go. Here comes the biasness. But what I love about Darkrai is it works as both a villain and a tragic figure. I'll talk about the villain side first. So, in Mystery Dungeon Explorers, it serves as a secondary antagonist, because you have a post-game and it's kind of like part 2 of the game. So essentially, it's revealed like Darkrai's behind it all. He was behind the whole future going bad and stuff like that. Which is admittedly kind of dumb. I actually don't like that plot point, but Darkrai as a villain works great because they utilize the nightmare aspect of him really well. Especially the part where like you're put to sleep and you don't know it, so you think your friends are just turning evil. But the thing is, it's revealed to be Darkrai, and it's like, oh, that's such a good twist. I mean, it's obvious, you know, because it's just like, okay, my partner's just not going to turn evil. But, like, at first, it's very subtle, you know, because he's saying, like, hey, maybe we should join Darkrai. And it's like, wait, what? No, we shouldn't do that, you know? But you think, like, you know, are we having doubts and stuff? But then eventually, he's just like, yes, we shall be evil together. It's like, okay, obviously something's happening, you know? But still, Darkrai as a villain works really well. But man, I honestly don't know which I prefer. I want to say I prefer the second. But yeah, the second side of Darkrai, and this is interesting. So in the movie Darkrai, wait, what's it called? Darkrai something. I don't know. Rise of Darkrai? Oh, I think it's Rise of Darkrai, yeah, which a lot of people like, by the way. It's painted as this tragic figure because Darkrai, you have to keep in mind, Darkrai didn't ask to be born Darkrai. So The thing is it's just this monstrosity of a Pokemon that gives people nightmares and puts them to sleep and stuff. So it's a very sad picture, because Darkrai in the movie, it looks terrifying and it does all this bad stuff, which leads to a manhunt to find Darkrai and destroy it, essentially. But it's not evil. It's just this really misunderstood Pokemon. Just because something looks the way it does, has the ability to do the things it doesn't mean that it's evil. It can do evil things, but that doesn't mean it's evil. And I don't know, I just really love that narrative with Darkrai, where it's just this really misunderstood Pokemon, and I do like that. Though, the games kinda lead into Darkrai being evil more than anything, but I don't know. The movie version is probably my favorite one, honestly. Now that I really think about it, yeah, I like the movie one a lot. It's just, Darkrai is just a complete package. Again, it's kind of like Lucario. It feels like the complete package. Just great design, great battler, great movie, just great everything. Darkrai is so good. I don't know, I want to say it's my favorite mythical, but I do like Deoxys a lot. But yeah, Darkrai, just, man, what a great Pokemon. Shaman! Going from Darkrai to Shaman. Shaman, look at it, look at little Shaman. Now this is the one I kind of feel more comfortable calling a regular Pokemon, even though I know it's a legendary or mythical or whatever. This one feels more like a mythical Pokemon instead of like a legendary, you know? Because just like, what is it? It's a little grass hedgehog that, you catch at level 30 in the original games. It's good, it's just not great. Yeah, I don't know, it's so cute. It's so dang cute. I think it's, wait, was it the only grass legendary back then, too? I think it was, right? Yeah. Grass legendary. Huh. It's so dang cute. Like, come on, just look at that thing. Look at it. Look at it. It's so cute. And a great design, too. It's very pretty. I remember having a Shaman plush and just being in love with it. Just like the little flowers and stuff. It just, man. Man, Shaman, like, yeah. I think Shaman is a lot of people's favorites. Here's my issue. I can hear all the collective groans out there. It's like, oh, Trico has an issue. What is it? Okay, so Shaman has another form called Shaman Sky form. And to be frank, I love it. I think Shaman Sky form looks great. I don't prefer one over the other, really. I think Shaman looks adorable. I think Shaman Sky looks cool. I just hate that there is a difference, and I hate that there's both. I just hate that they're both Shaman. I feel like you could have rectified this, but I hate that they're both Shaman. I don't like the idea that I have a little Shaman, he's a cute little hedgehog, and if you give him the Gracidea, it just becomes Shaman Sky. And, because the thing is, Shaman Sky is a completely different appeal from Shaman. It looks like a little cool dog with, like, big old ears and it flies and stuff. Because, I don't know, I love Shaman Sky, but I wish it was a completely different legendary altogether. Or, let's just entertain a thought here. I'm not saying we have to obey stereotypes, but why not make it so Shaman is like a female variant, and then Shaman Sky is like a male variant, you know? Then I would be more okay with it, where it's like, okay, they're both Shaman, but there's differences, you know? Like, that's just kind of how the species work. But no, like, Shaman is just Shaman, and then it can have Shaman Sky as a form, and it's just like, it doesn't feel like Shaman. At least with Giratina, the altered form versus the origin form feels the same. They just feel different. They just feel different depending on, like, the orb and, like, you know, the distortion world and stuff. Shaman Sky just feels like a departure from Shaman in the worst way. It's just that, I don't know, it's such a weird feeling because I love Shaman Sky, I love Shaman. I just wish they were separated or given a bit more context, because I can't buy that my little hedgehog sniffs a Gracidea flower and then just becomes Shaman Sky. Like, that's just so weird to me. But other than that, Shaman's great. Shaman's so great. Also, I believe Shaman Sky is actually really good. I don't remember. I just know it has Seed Flare, and it's like one of the strongest grass-type moves. That being said, if you're gonna do the glitch to get Shaman and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, be warned. I did it myself, and it didn't glitch my game or anything, but I couldn't trade my Shaman. So that sucked, and it was very disheartening because I love Shaman, and I couldn't trade it. Plain and simple. I couldn't give it to myself. I picked it up as an illegal Pokemon, so that really hurt me. So I'm just going to be waiting for the event when it comes out. So, sorry, not to date this video, because people are going to be watching this like 5 years down the line. It's like, what is he talking about? I'm playing like the X and Y remake right now. Okay, last Pokemon, I think. I really hope I didn't miss any. Alright, here we go. It is Arceus. And yep, I'm calling him Arceus. I've said this before. I hate the name Arceus. I think Arceus sounds dumb, like Arceus. You know, I think Arceus just sounds a lot better. And Ryan Reynolds says it in Detective Pikachu, so that's what I'm saying, Arceus. It just, man, you know, going through the Sinnoh decks, I just, like, there's just so many legendaries that just have so much going on with them. And I kind of missed that. Like, I was like, wow, like, there's a lot going on with some of these ones. So Arceus is kind of just painted out to be just God. He's the god of Pokemon. He's a god Pokemon. He created the entire Pokemon universe. He's just straight up God. Yeah, it's just straight up God. Yeah, turns out God was introduced about 4 generations prior to where we were, to where we are now. He's a normal legendary, which, you know, wasn't unique now because Regigigas existed, but still, the gall to be the god of the universe and be normal. But don't worry, we'll get to what he can do. Arceus just had this mythos with it that was just really, 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 really cool. Because it was the god of Pokemon. When you catch it, it's level 80. If you could somehow catch it, the only way you were really able to catch it back then is if you cheated, because the Azure Flute was never distributed. And guess who we have to thank for that? Junichi Matsuda. Yes, we do. Yes, good old Junichi Matsuda. Because he said that using the Azure Flute would have been too hard for kids to figure out. It sounds a lot easier than the Braille that you made us do back in Ruby and Sapphire, but okay, I guess the idea of going to the top of Mount Coronet and playing the flute was just too hard. You could literally just include a little manual, like, with the Azure Flute. Like, if you went to use it, it's like, oh, go to the top of Mount Coronet and use it. Like, that's it. That's all you had to say. But apparently that's just way too hard to do. It's just, the funniest thing is that they coded Arceus into the game, gave it a unique battle theme, gave it this whole event, and then just went, screw it. It's just like, what? It's just like, oh my god, it just, sometimes Game Freak just baffles me. I'm like, why would you waste development time in all those hours programming Arceus and the event and the music, and at the end of the day just being like, but the Azure Flute's hard. It's hard. Just forget it. It's like, what do you mean forget it? You made it! Just make it easier, apparently. Or just, oh my god. Oh, Game Freak, man. Anyway, enough of that. Arceus. So, it has this move called Judgment, and it's a normal type legendary move. Well, it's a normal type move. It's really good. It has like 100 base power. And the gimmick with Arceus is that, you know those little plates that you've been collecting throughout Diamond and Pearl? Well, those plates, which have places in lore, by the way, which is really cool, if you throw them on Arceus, it becomes that type. So Arceus can become literally every single type. And yes, he can also become Fairy, because Fairy type plate was added in X and Y. They thought of everything. So you can have a legendary Arceus of every single type. You could have a legendary Bug Arceus. A legendary Bug-type Arceus. And it's so awesome. Arceus also can learn every single move like Mew can, but you know, like the TM thing. It's not like Smeargle, where Smeargle can literally learn every single move. But Arceus is in the same boat as Mew, where, you know, if you give it a TM, it learns it. So that's cool as well. Arceus is just really, really rad. I don't think I should bring as much attention to this, but I also really liked Arceus in the Jewel of Life. I have a lot of bad memories with it because it was a massive review I made for the channel that unfortunately had to get, but got taken down, even though I cut it up and edited it and gave my own opinions, and it's transformative and stuff. It still got taken down. It's off YouTube and gave me a copyright strike. If you want to go watch it, there is a video on the channel explaining how to go watch it. It is on Facebook right now. I really like it. I spent a lot of time on it. And it just makes me sad because it just only a couple people saw it, and then it just kind of faded into irrelevance, and it makes me really sad because I really like doing it and it was fun to do. So yeah, so if you're curious, go watch that. But yeah, Arceus and the Jewel of Life was a lot better movie than I thought it would be. Like, it was such a surprise. I'm like, I really like this movie. Yeah, so that's just another point in Arceus' favor. Yeah, it even has its own game coming out soon, which feels really nice because it feels like we could finally get past the Azuri Flute nonsense because it's also programmed into Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the Azuri Flute event. So here's hoping we could finish it this time, please. I really hope more stuff happens with Arceus too. There's a whole thing with like it using Unknown, but we don't know if that's ever going to come back to fruition. I just wanted to say it just in case if it ever comes back into Legends Arceus. You could come back to this video, it's like, ah, Trico called it! He would use Unknown and there would be some cool new stuff with him. Yeah, just whenever I see Arceus, I just think of it now saying,
human beings must be brought to justice!
Human beings must be brought to justice! Special thanks to my top-tier patrons, Nancy, Liddy Kitty, Trico Simp, Terror XD, and Bumblebutt.